Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Rob.
I'm Mel.
And we're here to talk about the only thing you care about Gen Con. No one cares about anything there except for what games do I need to demo or what games do I need to buy. Unless you're into one of the other bajillion things that happen there.
But even so, right? They still want to know.
Nah, not everybody. No, I read online every year. Some people are like, I don't care. We go to game. I go to cosplay and game with friends. We bring our own games. We don't even go in the dealer hall.
That's awesome.
There is a group that does that. There's a group that goes there to meet up and play RPGs all night with their friends, continuing campaigns that they were maybe playing online or something. And they don't care about going in and buying new board game stuff or new RPG manuals or whatever it is. But I'm sure everyone wanders in there at least a little when they're at the con. But yeah. But even if you're not going, there is interest around Gen Con, as there is around Essen Spiel, or however you say it, the European counterpart to Gen Con, both equally large conventions focused around board gaming. Essen, because of the many languages and countries all joining in on that one, usually are more games are released there is what I hear, but I've never been, so I don't know. But the only one that compares to that in board game releases or previews or hyping up some Kickstarter coming or GameFound project is Gen Con. It's the biggest board game convention in North America. If you want to know more about it, check the playlist links in the video description. We have done 3 streams this year already. One about planning for Gen Con, what is Gen Con, badges, the hotels for Gen Con, yada yada. The second one we did was all around the event system. There is a ginormous 16,000 events or something crazy like that happen there for all different kinds of geek things, which is amazing. Blows my mind. There's still new events opening every day. There's events that have canceled. And when those events cancel, space and rooms and hotel areas and stuff open up, and other publishers or organizers will take those spaces and add new events, add new seats, add new spaces. They'll open up walls in ballrooms to give the event in the other side the whole thing if an event cancels or whatever, and it happens all the time. So if you're interested in some event and you're watching this, and you're like at Gen Con even, first couple days, go look. There might be an event available for Saturday or Sunday that now has space. So check that out, just FYI. Kanji, thank you for being a member for 10 months.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see everyone who is going next week.
Same. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see most of them. Yeah.
I just also want to give a quick shout out to Amanda, who says, got my silver die just in time for Gen Con. Congrats, Amanda. Love that.
Yeah, now,
thank you.
Now we can talk to you. Before, you were a peasant. Now you're official royalty.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to meeting you. So I can put a face to the name. And then I control you a little more because then I know you.
Yeah, once you have that social interaction in person, yeah, it definitely changes the dynamic and how you can talk with people virtually as well.
Yeah. Like if you're an 8-foot wrestler, maybe I would then, maybe treat you a little differently,
Yeah, once you learn how someone talks and interacts, right? If they're sarcastic or not, if they take offense to things, you can kind of then tailor your comments.
Most people know by now. I'm usually being sarcastic and whatever, but it's not good. I don't mean everything I say. And not everything I make so serious, I'm always so serious about, FYI. Jacko says, playing a gig at church, so I'm reading lips right now. What are you watching us from church for?
Yeah.
And that's a new one to put on the list. Hold on. Someone watching from church. I don't know if that's a sin. That might be a sin. But I don't know much about the religion stuff, but I'm gonna bet that's a sin. If they update the sin list to include technology. But yeah.
Yes, that Kanji, I do have, if I look in a certain direction, I will have a black dot in my eyes from the light. I keep my head down.
Oh.
That's okay. I've learned to.
Yeah, but it's because I move the lights every time Kyle comes. I put them back in different things. I don't have them exactly perfect.
Oh, good.
But I don't know where they need to be to work. Probably less behind the camera and more off to the right.
That's creepy looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Which one is it? Do it again. Oh yeah, you can't even tell like really which light, but I think it's the round one.
It's all good.
No, BRB.
Oh no.
I don't know what to tell you. Probably different though. Yeah, but it's when you look directly at it. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't really need to look directly at it where you put it.
Perfect. But where I had it, you would have been looking at the camera.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the camera or the chat.
All right, we're learning.
We're all good. We should be good.
Troubleshooting on the fly.
I won't look directly into the lights.
Don't look into the lights. Don't go into the lights. So today what we're doing, the fourth stream of Gen Con 2023 preparation. This one is all about the games. We're going to look at the Gen Con 2023 Geek preview on BoardGameGeek.com, which does not include every game that will be available there, not every expansion, not every product, not even close to expansions that might be there for demo or for sale or in prototype form. There is so many games there that are in prototype form at certain things you can try out. There's things that are just the first production copy on a table that you're not allowed to touch. There could be things you actually can fully sit down and demo before they're fully available. There might be early copies of a game that's not available for sale. There might be games that are fully been in retail for 6 months that might be there for sale. Not all of the publishers let BoardGameGeek.com know about what's there, and things show up last minute. Things are not confirmed. Things they even say are there don't end up showing up because the truck was late, or they couldn't get the container out of the shipping yard in time, or whatever, something sunk a ship in India and a rainstorm happened. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Whole bunch of stuff that delays things for Gen Con, or things show up out of nowhere, or there's surprises that publishers always keep to themselves or only let their community know. So this BoardGameGeek.com Gen Con preview list is kind of lame when you learn that it's like, oh, that's not everything. And it's only the publishers that know to promote their stuff on there or want to. And some of that data is not even accurate, I've learned. That some things that say they're for sale, that was the mistake. It's not really there for sale. It was an accident that they don't want to correct, because then you won't run to their booth. And I'll point out that later. So it's a little scummy, not 100% correct. It sucks that everyone uses it. And, but not every content creator uses it to create their list of hype stuff, but not everyone realizes that that's not the end all be all. And it does update all the time up until the convention. So new things are being added, but it's our best place to go to learn some of the stuff that's there and maybe research it, because it's on BoardGameGeek.com, which is full of information. It's like the Wikipedia board games. So we're just going to use it to go with some of the games. I don't know if all of them we found on there. Some of them I get emails from publishers letting me know what's there and they want to set up meetings and yada yada. And hey, Rob, here's what we're coming with. Let your audience know, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of it I ignore because I'm like, that's not for me. That's not for my audience. I don't care about this type of game, blah, blah, blah. But I appreciate you mass emailing everybody, whatever. But we're going to go over some games that we're interested in because people always ask. But don't go buy these games. Don't go order them online because we're looking at them and we think they're cool. Remember, Gen Con is not necessarily all the best games for you are there. Not all the games are marketed towards you that are there. These may not be games that are even close to the type of games you like. It's just the only games that are there. And sometimes a game can look great because next to a pile of horse crap, it looks amazing. But when you actually get the game home, you realize like this game wasn't that great, but out of all the games at Gen Con, it was a better game. But in the grand scope of games available for you to buy at your local game store, maybe it wasn't so hot. It was just the thing that was there, and it was marketed better than the other things. So keep that in mind. I've learned that over the last 10 years going to Gen Con is like, when you're in the Gen Con bubble, just like, you know, the same way I talked about in the last stream about Gen Con dealer hall or exhibit hall is designed like a casino or like a Walmart, you know, with no clocks, no windows, no light. You have no idea of time, but it's its own vacuum, and they're able to, you know, not worry about anything happening outside of there. You just focus on what's there. So some things sitting in front of you might look so amazing on their demo tables, but are not actually that great. So what I recommend before we start talking about any of these games, some of these games are just interesting because we're going to be there. We're going to just go maybe just look at them and then spit on them, or, you know, foo-foo and walk away. You know, this game is garbage, and walk away. Or we'll demo them, or we'll let the volunteer, the publisher, tell us about the game. Or maybe we want to buy the game. We don't know until we're there, kind of thing. Some of these games, you look at videos, or you look at pictures, or you read on BGG of marketing fluff, and you're not sure if the game's any good. So the list, please, full disclosure, big warning, these are not games where like, oh my God, these games must be awesome, amazing, must buys. No game really is that. It depends on you and your collection, your tastes, your income, all your debt, all this stuff, like your space on your KLAX, whatever. Your gaming group. There's so many things that go into this. So please don't just think because we're showing you these games, these are amazing, because a lot of them probably won't end up being. And that's what always happens when we make a list before Gen Con or before Origins, and then we go and then we see the games, or we buy the games, or we come back and we play the games. That list, you look back and it's a joke. Like half of them, you're like, we don't even play this game anymore. This game sucks. No one talks about this game anymore. This game ended up being garbage. Like, but in the vacuum of only things at Gen Con, there's this thing that people need to buy something. They need to run for something. They need to come back with something. Not everyone's that way, but it's just a thing. So keep that in mind. These are just games we're interested in, either checking out, trying, buying, whatever. We're not sure about most of them, but they look interesting based on the short amount of time we've kind of browsed them. And it's just a list, because people always ask this. It's the most asked thing. I'm doing a planning video telling you all about Gen Con, where to go, what to buy, what to do, what to pack, you know, how to be safe, how to be healthy, all this stuff there. And yeah, people only care about, I don't care about that.
Yeah, what game are you running for?
Yeah, what game, Rob, should I buy? Like, I just need to know which I should buy. And I'm like, I don't know that answer. So this is not answering that. This is just showing you like what we might be interested in. But again, when you go to Gen Con, there's always something there that was not in the plans. There's always something there that I looked at the box, I read the description, I went, that's not for me. But then I go there and I'm with someone else and they say, Rob, I played this game. It was so cool. Go check it out. And we go check it out. And I'm like, oh, this actually is pretty cool. But I would have never known, because I don't usually like stuff from this designer or this publisher or this artist or whatever, or this weight or whatever. But this would be the perfect game for us and our game group or whatever. And I'll come back with stuff in my bag and bring home that I never planned on buying or trying or anything. So that's the cool part about the convention. You see the picture behind us here. The dealer hall is like 40 aisles of craziness. I don't know if it's 40, something like that. And it's huge. So there's so much in there that you don't even know that's there, and so much stuff that'll pop up that we don't even know about right now. That happens, okay? So just FYI, putting that all up out there, okay? Just all out there. So this is what we're using, the Gen Con 2023 preview, where we got most of the games on our list. Some of them I found in emails and things, so just keep that in mind. But I've linked this down in the video description if you want to look at what games are there. It's right now. I just wanted to show this. There's 552 titles of, these are only things that publishers have let BoardGameGeek.com know about to put in this list, that are either games or expansions that are fairly new. I think the stuff they put in this list is only stuff that's released in like the last 6 months. So there are things that are coming there early. There are things that are only demoing. There are things that have been already out in your local game store for 6 months, but this is their first Gen Con that they're kind of promoting them. And not everyone has a local game store. A lot of people travel to Gen Con and buy their games there only. That does happen for people that don't really have local game stores or don't really buy online, I guess. But yeah, that's the thing. So just showing you, and you can sort by publisher. You can sort by, you know, thumbs, as a lot of people do, because they don't know. They're like, what does everyone else think is great? So thumbs, like I can just thumb this. Anyone can thumb this. The designer and his family can thumb this. The publisher can pay all their employees to go and thumb this to make it go up really high. So I wouldn't trust these stats too much. But if you sort by most like, these are the things that people are probably going to try to buy or try. And it's going to be busy to do so.
Yeah, looks like a lot of people want to demo this.
Yeah, so this is a demo coming out later this year, but I guess people love Cascadia, for example. So there's a Landmarks expansion that's going to be there for demo. So if you're thinking of buying this later this year when it comes out in Q4, you can go there. It'll be on tables. Maybe they're running events. I don't know. But just for example, this is the kind of info you can get from here. And then, of course, you can click it and go read all about it. Go to the forums. And sometimes you'll find people talking about what's going to be at Gen Con, where do I demo it, where's the booth, are there any events available, blah, blah, blah. And you'll see people talking in there sometimes. But yeah, just an example. Okay, so you could sort by this. I don't care. I don't care about that stuff because some of these games are not for me. And I'm not always the board game geek. I don't usually fit in the bucket in the same audience that is the general population of the boardgamegeek.com / like Dice Tower kind of audience. I know this based on seeing top 10 lists and stuff from them and their audience and stuff. It's like, okay, everyone's different, right? So again, we're just giving our own take on it, but this is our information is like, take it with a grain of salt. Again, we don't know. And we're only two people that buy and play games just like you, but we have different tastes, different budgets, different family, different gaming groups, different space. You know, we like different kinds of things. Sometimes we just want to look at something because we're like, oh, that's curious. Mm-hmm. That's a theme we never played before.
Or a mechanic that we don't really have.
Or a type of game we don't own, you know, whatever. Let's go look at it. So anyways, that's the list. Link down below if you want to go search for it. You can mark things as must have, interested in stuff, and it builds your own list for you. So when you're at the con, you can bring this up on your phone even and go look through your most interested things and mark them off and add notes to them and stuff. It's kind of a cool little list. It's very useful if you figure your way around it. But all right, we're gonna go with the first game. So we're gonna rifle through some games. Some of these games, Mel looked through the list. Mel looked at some things. I looked through the list kind of separate. Mm-hmm. And then we put our games on a little sheet, a document. And then the ones that we both had, we kind of just erased the duplicate. So we're going to go over the games that like we're interested in for various reasons. Again, because, oh, it'd be cool to play with our daughter or our family off stream. Or maybe this one would be great for stream. Or we love this game, so maybe we should get this expansion. So we're just going to rifle through these games real quick. Hopefully quick. Where it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 each. And then there's probably a 5-ish games that I put that are in the demo that I'm like, I just want to go by and look at them quickly. Maybe take a couple pictures or something, talk to the designer or the publisher or whatever, and just ask a couple questions. But they're not going to be available for a while. So it's like, but I just want to see them because you have the chance at Gen Con sometimes to actually get up close, touch and feel a game that sometimes, like Chip Theory games, a video doesn't do it justice. Sometimes you got to touch and feel and play the game, or have the publisher or designer explain to you what they are going for when they're designing a game, which sometimes an idiot on YouTube playing through it doesn't convey what you're looking for. Where you can ask and poke and prod in person, which is kind of neat.
I guess we also want to say it's in no particular order. It's not no order. From best to worst or worst to best.
No, you're supposed to do the YouTube thing.
Oh.
Stay tuned for the best thing at the very end and don't scrub ahead.
Right.
You stay tuned for the most amazing information you can't miss, or a tornado will rip through your neighborhood. I'm trying to do like the news, right? Trying to scare you into watching and staying, you know.
Also, one of mine is for demo. Sorry, but it's fine.
Who cares? That's fine.
But I'm just
no order, no reason. We'll try to explain it for each game as we go.
Yep.
So here we go. This is the first example of, maybe something you wouldn't expect on the list. All right, here we go. This is for Mel. Mel, go.
Okay, this is Scream the Game. Okay, I want to look into this game because our daughter loves the movies. This may be, in a lot of times when Rob talks about pulling people into the hobby and getting people in, is use themes they are interested in, right? Our daughter will play games with us, yes, but if it's a theme she is interested in, she's less likely to go, oh, and roll her eyes, right? This game, first of all, has a theme she likes. Funko Games makes some pretty decent games, so I'm interested to check it out for that reason. It's a real-time game. I actually do really, really love real-time games. I don't know that Rob always loves those kind of games, but I definitely do that stress of a ticking clock or something that I need to do before time runs out. I get really excited for that. So I'm excited for this. This also uses a web app. So during the game, Ghostface will call and interact with the players in the game in various ways. So not saying I'm going to buy this. I want to check this out to see if this is something that might be cute or fun for us to play with our daughter, or my daughter to play with her friends or whatever. But in looking at it, it just kind of stood out to me as something that might be interesting. I need to check it out more before I make a final decision. It's $20 US. $20 US, so it's not super expensive. So if this was something that we picked up, we played with her a couple times, I would be happy with that. So this is something I want to look at for her and see if it's something that we can play as a family together. I don't know that this would all make it on stream because, again, she doesn't like to play on stream. This is, what did I write? 3 to 8 players. So it is more of a challenge to play on stream. Also, real time is also really hard to play on stream because of the real time aspect and so much going on. It's hard for people to follow along. So it might be something that we just pick up and play as a family. So that's my interest in this. And then you can chime in if you have any comments.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I'm going to read what you were laughing about.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people commenting. I'm like trying to keep a straight face, and I can't because I'm reading the comments. This always happens. I always get distracted by chat and I think it's funny. But I put a link to the Board Game Geek list that has all the games in it if you guys want to browse through it and look up games. Because I forgot to mention, after we're done rifling through the games, you guys can bring up games if there's any games on the list or games you're excited about or games you heard about and you're wondering like, why didn't you talk about that? Why aren't you interested? Or maybe you didn't even know about it and I think you guys might be interested in it. I remember, is it Barrett? No, it's Brant, right? I think Brant, we met at Gen Con, who told us in our comments, you guys didn't look at this game, and this game.
Yeah.
You might be interested. And like 2 or 3 of them, he was dead on. We went and looked at it and we're like, oh yeah, I see. Whoops, my bad. Because I don't sit there that long and look at every single one and read about it. Sometimes it's like, I see a publisher or like a play length or a complexity level and I'm like, nah, not for me. I'll just keep moving on because I got to limit the list down to something. And then I research and start watching videos and reading and going in the forums and seeing what people are saying about it. Because I won't know until I get there, right? So it's like, I appreciate any kind of recommendation. So at the end, after we're done our list, we can look at we can go back to the list and look at any games from publishers or even just look up games on BGG that aren't in the list that you know are there, or you're interested in demoing or buying or playing, and we can look at them if there are any.
Yeah.
So I put the list linked in the chat so you can bring it up, you can filter it, you can filter out demo, you can filter out games for sale, you can filter out expansions, cost, publisher, sort, and all that stuff with the list. Have fun. And the other thing related to this game.
20 minutes too, which is a great time, especially if you're playing with like family or whatever.
3 to 8 victims, by the way.
Oh, victims. Yeah, sorry, not players. Victims.
How dare you?
I just think it's so cute.
It is cute. Watch this trailer. I put a trailer, the official trailer for this game from Funko Games. It's a short little YouTube video. I linked it in the chat. If you're watching later, bring up the chat archive. You'll see these links I'm talking about. And it's just a little funny trailer showing the phone app and it's like calling, you know, and all this stuff. It's just a funny little game with cool components. But it's Funko Games. They always make something of like quality, family weight, solid. It's usually designed by like Prospero Hall, sometimes the Funko stuff. So they make like gamers making games for like
designed by Funko.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, Funko, like they usually make solid family weight games that like have current gamer knowledge in them, not just trying to make old junky stuff. If that makes sense.
I think this would be fun to play with our gaming group where we go to, and you know, a couple couples and some. There
is one real-time game I played and I liked, but it's hard for streaming videos and stuff to do that kind of thing, and it's chaotic as hell. Yeah. So it's annoying.
Which one was that you liked?
It was Escape. Escape.
Oh yeah, the Cursed Temple.
Yeah, Escape. Yeah. The Curse of the Temple or whatever it's called. I
enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, those are fun.
That you start like rolling on the floor and everyone's panicking.
Yeah. It's fun, but it's like not my go-to, and it's obviously not what I would stream. It's not something that like. You know, doesn't fit the format really that I like to do on the channel. So
yeah.
All right. The next one is me, so we'll go back and forth, I guess. So this is Star Wars Unlimited. Okay. This was not announced. This was announced around the time that the event system went up, but there was no events for this game. There was no talk really about this game being at Gen Con. All that was announced was, hey, we have a new card game that Fantasy Flight Games is working on, which blew my mind. And I think this might be a direct result of the ownership change behind Asmodee, because there were some rumors that like Fantasy Flight Games, when it was owned by Asmodee and some other investment company a few years back, was told no more new card games. Stop making card games. They cost too much. They don't make as much profit. We're not doing it right. It's too expensive. So Keyforge blew up though. So they were allowed to keep Keyforge going, but they messed that up by getting ransomware, screwed up some things and whatever. So they sold that game. I thought all the card game employees, I thought pretty much were gone, because Keyforge was gone, all the competitive LCGs were dead, and all they're doing with the other LCGs, it seems, is like reprinting old stuff and repackaging old stuff. except for Arkham. I know they changed hands. There's a new designer behind it because MJ moved on to other stuff. So that scared me too, because when they usually hand off a game at Fantasy Flight Games, I've been following Fantasy Flight Games for 10 years, like favorite publisher still, I think, because they make some of the best stuff that got me into the hobby and got my gaming group in the hobby. But I love the card game stuff. Amazing guys there working on games, guys, girls, all working on games there. And I've loved all the stuff that I've played from that department. And it's kind of sad when some of them leave and certain games die and all that stuff. But I thought the card game department was done. I thought Asmodee, who owns FFG, and, you know, Christian Peterson, the owner, left and all this stuff. I thought all the card games were going to die, except the co-op ones, which seemed to keep going, sort of. And then when they hand off Arkham to another designer, I'm like, oh, that's the end of it. It's going to be over soon. Like, that designer will do like one set, and then they just like wind the game down. It's a big red flag. And I thought no more card games out of, you know, my favorite card game producing company. I thought it was done. I thought I had my fun. It was fun while it lasted. And then these friggers, these freaking people announced that we're working on this Star Wars game, working on it for a year or so, 2 years, whatever it is. And like a couple years ago, they changed ownership to the Embracer Group, which owns a bunch of video game companies. And I thought maybe this group is not being as cost cutting and allowing them to kind of do what they want and you know, make new things. And now that restriction of no more card games is not a thing anymore. And yeah, they're using the Star Wars license to make a new collectible card game, a CCG, not an LCG, a CCG. And they're doing something cool where chasing rares is like not really a thing. Or they're making it something like that where like there's not special cards in the pool that have different mechanics that are super rare and super expensive. All there is like, if there's a meta card, there is a cheaper version of it and maybe a cool artistic foily version of it that maybe is more expensive, but they want to make it so every card is accessible to everybody at some level, which I think is cool. That's the way to do it. Like, that's the thing with Flesh and Blood. I like Flesh and Blood, but I don't want to get into Flesh and Blood too deep because I know some of the cards you need in your deck to go to a tournament are hundreds of dollars, and there's only so many that exist because they're like, that's the way they want to do it. They want to please investors and players at the same time and collectors. But this game supposedly is going to be more approachable CCG. I don't know. We'll see. But this is coming out next year. But then Fantasy Flight Games, a couple months ago, all of a sudden, like, added a bunch of events to the event system, and nobody really filled them up that quickly. So I got a seat with Mel. We're going to go demo this. They're going to have 2 demo decks. You don't get to take them home, unfortunately, but I'll see if their security can stop me. And I'll test that theory. And if somebody who's there, Kanji, maybe can bail me out of jail the next day, that'd be great, so I can still enjoy the con for the rest of the weekend. But they are giving out promos, like a Luke Skywalker and a Darth Vader promo or something there. So of course people are going to be like trying to sell those on eBay, I'm sure. But I just want to try the game out because I'm excited. I love getting into the ground floor for Fantasy Flight Game CCG/LCG/TCGs. Even if they don't last more than a couple of years, I still have fun getting in with them, seeing a lot of the community that has played the other ones that I've played. You know, like I'll see some of the same players playing it, I'm sure, that we saw playing L5R, Game of Thrones, you know, Warhammer, all this stuff. So yeah, I'm just excited to see. And like Danny Schaefer, who used to work on Game of Thrones, my favorite Game of Thrones 2nd edition. I love what Danny does. I love the sets he worked on for that game. He also worked on Keyforge, which is probably my favorite. Yeah, that's probably my favorite game I've played at FFG, a card game that at tournaments and stuff. But my very close second and a special place in my heart is Game of Thrones card game 2nd edition. And Danny is also like the lead designer on this game, I think, or one of the senior designers or something, which is cool. So yeah, I want to try it out, and I think it's cool. So they're doing demos there. I think they have demos in their hall. You can go see it and check it out and stuff. But this is something I'm excited to demo. You can't buy it there. But Fantasy Flight Games used to be crazy when they were a private company and owned by just Christian Peterson. They would just announce something on like a Friday or Saturday at Gen Con, and boom, at their booth, all of a sudden it would be there and for sale or for demo or for show, and you never would have expected it. Like that one year they had the Star Wars, the tabletop war game.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what that's called.
Legion. Is it Legion? Star Wars Legion?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, they announced it like in their in-flight report on like a Friday, and you go to their booth Friday morning, nothing's there. It's like tables demoing something else. And then you go to this press conference thing, they show off this game, and they're like, by the way, you can try it at our booth today. And you go back to the booth, all of a sudden they have new banners, a full setup and tables, and they're demoing it, the designer's there, and you're like, what the hell? They used to do crazy stuff like that. Or in their they would have empty spots in their glass cases at their booth, and you would go up and you're like, oh, what are these empty spots for? And it's like, stay tuned to our in-flight report on Friday or whatever. It was a different company then, owned by different people, but I still have hope that they'll do that again sometime in the future, where maybe Star Wars Unlimited, they're like, yeah, we're just demoing it, and then all of a sudden they have an in-flight report stream short thing, and they're like, by the way, surprise, we actually have some at our booth, demo decks, we actually got some in, you can buy them. But I don't think they'll do that, but
I don't think so with the 2024 release.
yeah. But if they have demo decks built to play the game, like, you know, maybe it could say like not for tournament use on it, and they're just demo decks, not finished, incomplete, and let people take them home and play with them. But they're trying to build hype, so I'm kind of excited for this one. But yeah. Yeah, you don't need a CCG in your life. No, this is what I'm telling you. This is why I said before. Just because I'm excited to demo this game doesn't even mean I'll play this game.
Yeah, we don't know if we need one either.
Yeah, I don't know if I need this either. It could be crap. It could be not for me. It could be way too basic and boring. But like, maybe Star Wars fans just looking through the nostalgia goggles love that, and that's fine. And maybe it's fun. But
we like to play them to have experience, to be able to talk about them when we talk about other CCGs and LCGs. Yeah,
and I can share the info with you guys if they tell us some tidbits about the game or anything there. Like, I'll try to report back and let you guys know how it is on a stream from Gen Con, hopefully, and we can let you know how the event went and, you know, what we experienced and stuff like that. So I'm just looking to try it. It's demoing there. It's kind of an exclusive thing that's going to be happening early there. It's the first time anyone outside of the company will really get to play with the game. So it's kind of neat to be there at the ground floor. Like probably 8 months to 12 months before the game ever comes out, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. So that's Star Wars Unlimited from Fantasy Flight Games.
Cool. Okay, this is from my list. This is a game that is for demo that I was saying. This is my one demo game. This is The Last of Us Escape the Dark. This actually is the latest evolution of the Escape the Dark system. So I guess they have, I think, two others. I think they have two others, maybe three, if I'm remembering.
Yeah, it's Escape the Dark Castle and Escape the Dark Sector, whatever those are.
So I know nothing about either of those. I remember seeing this box once before.
Yeah, this does look familiar, right? It was probably at another convention. Like in 2017, it was probably a thing on the geek list we looked at.
Yeah, but I know nothing about this system. Now, Rob and I love The Last of Us. So instantly I was like, okay, let me look into this. I love post-apocalyptic. I love all of that theme in a game. So I don't know too much about this. So this obviously will be a really quick chat about it, but I'm excited to see what this looks like and have no knowledge of the previous games that this is implemented from. I think that for me actually makes it more exciting. Do you need me to stop for a second?
No. Oh, that's the wrong one. What the heck?
Because I don't know anything about the previous, I'm going in like full, I just want to know what this game is about. So I'm not doing any research on the two previous. The one thing I just learned actually is that it's fully black and white. I had no idea. I was looking at some pictures and I just thought it was like demo. So I had no idea that it's fully black and white, which is the cool artistic thing.
I just put a link to this little trailer video. This is like the only thing we could really find out about it, because there's no pictures on BGG yet.
Yeah, and because I want to go in open-minded, I'm not looking into the other two games. So I don't want to know too much about it. I want to kind of stay open-minded about this one specifically and not have like preconceived notions about it. So I'm interested to check this out. It's for demo, so I'm definitely going to see what this series or what this is about. I don't know if this is something that you'd be interested in as well.
Yeah. I definitely, when I just found out about it when I saw your list, I was like, oh, I didn't know this was there. So I'll walk over, check it out, let them explain to me in, 5 minutes, what is this?
Yeah.
Show me what it's about, so I'll understand, like within 2 minutes, I'll understand like where they're going with it. But the other games are like pretty low complexity. So is it low complexity? That's fine if it is.
It might be.
My daughter liked The Last of Us. I like The Last of Us. You know, I think it's a great property. So hopefully they do the game justice. Hopefully it's fun. And the black and white thing is interesting.
Yeah, it's unique. I think that's cool.
Yeah, the art looks cool on it. But the video I linked in the description there, or in the live chat, is the developers describing how they're, integrating the theme with the game and stuff like that. So we're just going to go and check it out. But on Star Wars Unlimited, Edward's mentioning on Tabletop Simulator, which I refused to like install on my computer, there's supposedly a demo for Star Wars Unlimited you can play around with on there.
Oh, cool.
That's neat. It's a fan-built version. But again, this Tabletop Simulator does not equal being in front of an FFG employee and them playing with you and explaining to you the game and physically touching and feeling cards at Gen Con doesn't even come close to dabbling with a game in some PC software like Tabletop Simulator, which I use the term software lightly. But yeah, that's, yeah. I appreciate it though, because some people that they like to test games and play games like that. Just not for me, but I appreciate the info. But yeah, I'm not that excited I'm gonna install Tabletop Simulator.
No, me neither. I hate it. Matthew says, do you need a event ticket to demo, or do you just walk up? You just walk up to the booth. They may have other people that are playing the game, so you may have to wait.
Though. Yes, that's not 100% true, Mel.
Well, no, I'm saying
you
like
don't
at
work there, you don't know that.
No, I'm just saying like at the booth itself, usually you can kind of see them walking.
Not always though.
Through how to play.
Not always. Sometimes you go up to a booth and they're literally just piles of games to buy, and there's no tables.
No, but this one says demo. So when it specifically says demo, I just assume.
No, not true. This happened before actually with like, I remember one collectible card game. I went to the publisher's booth where it was listed in the Geek Preview, and they were like, oh, we don't actually, they had like a tiniest booth. And they're, those like super small booths where they look like from like a flea market.
Yeah.
Those guys will have event space in the gamer hall where they're demoing stuff, and they'll have a banner for their publisher, and there you can go. But sometimes they're like, sorry, you need generics. Sorry, you need to schedule this. It's in the event system. Go book it.
Right.
So that is not a true blanket statement. I've learned firsthand where I went up and I'm like, let's demo this. And they're like, we don't have room to demo at our booth. Go in the event system. We have many spaces. It's free. You can go demo, but it's in the hotel over here or the gamer hall over here. So Matthew, we don't know everything for sure. That's why I try to say at the start of the stream, like, we just looked at these games quickly. Again, oh yeah, I didn't say on this stream, we don't work for Gen Con. We don't know all the information. Do your research. That's why I've linked stuff in the chat or in the video description. Go to the list, go to the forums, email the publisher. If you need more information beyond what we see here on this website or what we say, go to the horse's mouth, go to the publisher to find the most accurate information. I would hate to mislead somebody and tell them, go here to see this, and it's not accurate. And we don't know. I did not email this publisher and find out what the plan is. Some publishers do email us, like I said, and let us know, like, this thing is for sale and we'll have these promos and only this many copies, or we're demoing this, Rob, come check it out, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, just disclaimer. Okay, just want to put that disclaimer in there with giving info like that. All right. Do they let you smell cards at Gen Con?
I mean, I don't think they can stop you.
I don't know, man. I want to keep being able to go back to Gen Con, so I don't try it unless nobody's looking. Oh, what's this cool game you got here? Oh, what's that over there? Someone's stealing something. Look. Sir, put the cards down. Step away from the cards. Anyways, all right. That's right. My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria deck building game, which we played on the channel, was actually pretty solid. I had fun. This is the expansion you have been waiting for. Transformers in your My Little Pony game. This meshes my daughter's childhood with my childhood. How can I say no? It will be for sale there. They will have early copies. I don't know how much earlier it is than retail. I just know it'll be there. It's like 30 bucks. I'm going to go try to buy it there for fun. And maybe play it before it comes out for fun. But a lot of people liked our playthrough video of the pony game. Had some nice comments on there. It's fun to break away from the usual that we play on the channel and do some kind of like family kind of fun stuff. But yes, this is like the 4th or 5th expansion for the game. I don't own any expansions, but if I were to buy one expansion for a My Little Pony board game I own, it would be the one with Transformers in it. Okay. All right. That's all you need to know. This may or may not ever be played on stream.
I feel like it should be there to get it.
Maybe.
Just for the fun of it.
But the fact they're even making this, I have to give them money for it. That's just how it works. I mean, they might give me a copy, but I'm okay paying for it. I think it's funny. It's just weird, and I need to see what the hell they're doing. I must know. All right, this one is one that I mentioned to Mel, and I said would be on my list and looked cool based on the description. Fits our streaming format. It's kind of fun. And then Mel looked into it and threw it on her list. So I was like, all right, let's just put it together. So you go ahead. You can talk about this one.
So I'm actually very excited for this game. So this game is a 2-player game. one of the things that this game really reminds me of, and it maybe it's just me and I haven't even played the other game, but remember when you got Under Falling Skies?
Yes.
And I really was super interested in that game. The theme looked really cool, but it was solo only, and I never ever ended up playing it. I look at this and I'm like, oh, here's my chance. We can play a game like that together.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's kind of why I initially was like, oh, I'm interested in this game. So this game I think is really cool because you kind of plan your turns before the round begins. Then you roll dice behind a shield so the other player doesn't know. And then you can't talk anymore. So you're kind of trying to work through what you had originally planned with the dice that you have. I just think it's so cool, hoping that you can land your plane and not crash. This game just looks really cool to me. You can chime in on some things that you think about it, but it just looks so neat, and I'm so excited to try this one.
Yeah, the theme is cool.
Yeah.
Like 2 pilots trying to land a plane, not talking, so it's trying to combat the whole alpha gamer thing. Any game where it's like, you can't talk to each other, it's like, okay, you just play tested the game and found out it's broken when people can talk and alpha game it, and your one player overrides the other player and the other player is not having fun. So let's make nobody talk and then figure out how it works that way.
But you can talk before the turn to kind of, you can kind of like plan out your turn, and then you stop talking, you roll your dice, the other player can't see, and then you kind of have to use those dice to do actions, hoping that the other person is going to do what you had said you were going to do.
Yeah. I just like how it has like little scenarios that are based on the different airports and stuff.
Also cool, yeah.
Yeah, so it just looks neat. Non-expensive game, just a fun game. It'd be cool to try. Since it was 2-player only, I was like, well, come on. Mel and I play a lot on the channel 2-player. I mean, I'll play solo, we play 3-player, whatever, but it's like this fits Mel and I, another game that we could play together and bond over maybe.
And we don't have any games like this that I can think of.
So, no.
So it's another game to add to our collection that's different.
So it is for sale there, and they did do pre-orders on their website that you could actually do local pickup at Gen Con, but there was an asterisk on that. I went to go do it, but it wouldn't accept because we had a Canadian address / credit card. It wouldn't let us do it, and then it's sold out on pre-orders to pick up at Gen Con, or they shut it down or whatever. So hopefully we can pick up a copy when we're there. If not, I'm sure it'll be at local game stores within a couple weeks or a couple months. So I'm not like diehard, like, oh my God.
No, we don't need to get it there, but I would love to see it.
But man, when companies like on Black Friday now, I can order stuff, you know, in the middle of the night for Black Friday, don't have to go outside, get in a lineup to get something that's limited, and then just go roll in the next day and pick it up at Best Buy or whatever. I think that's awesome. I like to support the local pickup to avoid craziness. I love how I can pay for something and then just when it's not busy, stroll up to the booth and pick it up. I think it's amazing. So I wanted to support that, but they just didn't let me. So I will give them my 2 cents when I go there. And yeah, I tell them that as a Canadian, I am not happy about this. I'm not happy about it. So yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to play this game at some point.
Yeah. So hopefully we can grab a copy over there. But again, since I couldn't get the pre-order thing, I'm sure I probably won't be able to get a copy because I'll forget about it. And then we'll go by the booth and they'll be like, sorry, we're sold out. You should have used our pre-order thing, and then they'll punch them.
And in that case, then if we can't get a copy ourselves, maybe we demo it and see if it's actually even as good as we think it is. Like, we're just guessing at this point.
True.
But yeah.
All right, here's the weird one. I saw it on the Geek preview list or whatever, and I was like, King Hill. I don't know what that means. I think it's missing a word or two in there. I don't know. But it had this beautiful fantasy cover on it, and it said strategic worker placement game mixed with modern card elements. Okay. And I was like, I love worker placement. I like fantasy. Okay. I don't know what a modern card element is, but sure, it's mixed in there. The weight is pretty good. I like stuff maybe that level or a little higher, but it's fine. The crazy part is it's 1 to 2 players, but supposedly it's designed as a 2-player game, 2-player only basically, with a solo mode kind of tacked on. And then I realized, oh, it was on a Kickstarter. So then I went and I was able to find videos and read people's reviews who already have it and played it and got their Kickstarter copy. But basically the parts that made me interested, I want to go see it though in person because those videos weren't the greatest. And like, this is a self-published game from like, you know, a single dude, and then a couple people doing some art for it. But it just looks like a mess of components and looks really crazy, but it's worker placement. And you basically have your own player boards that are like your own castles and you're leveling up. You can like send out assassins. You can shoot cannons or something at the other person's castle. kind of reminds me a little bit. There was a game we played where we're building our own little like base village and we're like attacking each other. I totally forget what that was called, but it was from like a South Korea developer that we played on the channel, and I don't remember the name. I'm so bad.
Shaolia.
Shaolia, yes.
Or Sholia, or
and that was like a small publisher no one ever heard of, but the game was kind of cool. This reminds me of that. This is something like at Gen Con that I would have never heard about online. I would look at this and probably not care about it, but the fact that I can go in person, check it out, have the developer explain it to me, what's going on here, sell me on it. It just looked pretty. The design, the graphic design and the art makes it look like it's not like a two-man team kind of game. But it just looks something that's fun that I would like to try because I like worker placement. I like fantasy. I like two players going at each other. I like competitive games like that. So the fact that Mel and I could play in like, I'm trying to smash your castle and send assassins out to kill your dudes and stuff like that. And we're trying to build up by worker placement spots. And the board's evolving with different spots, becoming available and stuff like that. It has some cool mechanisms in it. And again, it's one of those games I don't expect a lot. Like you won't hear me buy this game and then trash it because like, oh my God, the rule book's not the greatest or whatever. It's like one guy made the whole game and it's like, I got to give him props for that and like, you know, lower my expectations a little bit, but maybe that'll blow away my expectations. But yeah, this is just a cute little game that I'm like, And supposedly there's because it was a Kickstarter, of course, there's an upgrade component. Get this, you can upgrade those flat, crappy mats to dual layer cardboard.
Oh, I thought you were saying neoprene or something.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just worker placement, fantasy, attacking each other's little player board castles, tableaus, whatever. Sounded like, okay, that could be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need it or if I like it, but I'm going to go check it out. Because that's, yeah. This I would never probably see in my local game store. I probably wouldn't look at this on a crowdfunding website. But the fact it's going to be there, I'm going to walk up, check it out, and see what's up.
You just made me remember something when you were talking about upgrades. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Scream game that if you purchase anything from their booth, you get a free Ghostface pin. So just in case anybody is wondering.
Be right back, guys. All right, Mel explained to me Gen Con wouldn't be open right now if we just drove down right now, so I'd have to wait anyway. So we're going to continue the stream instead of running there for that exclusive pin. We'll just try to get it later.
Letting you know.
I started the car and she's like, Rob, don't go. Like, it's not going to be ready yet. And I was like, you didn't even pack. And I was like, but the pin. We got to get the pin.
Just funny because we were talking about pins in the last one. So it just totally reminded me when you said upgrades. Not that it's an upgrade, but it reminded me.
All right. This is you.
Okay.
But also
Stacey
me.
almost spoiled it. I didn't want to answer you.
Stacey H, said, I was going to ban you from the chat for trying to ruin the
I didn't want to answer at all, but Stacey said, Mel, are you picking this up? And I definitely want to. So I love Dice Throne. It is so fun. I love it. When we didn't back the Kickstarter, so I didn't even know about this. We purchased the game. Then we saw a sign for this, and I think they were advertising it, but they didn't have any, right?
Yes. So
from the Kickstarter.
What I remember is, so Dice Throne history, we have hours of it streamed on the channel.
I love it.
We knew of Dice Throne, but I didn't know if it was for me. I was kind of explain the story on trying to do it quickly. Kanji Studios, one of our members, fellow YouTuber, brought his copy of Dice Throne Marvel, I think, right?
Yep.
His big, juicy Kickstarter version. And brought it to Gen Con, carried that thing to Gen Con, spent an evening teaching us at Gen Con. We were streaming it last year, having fun while we were playing it or whatever. So this game, Dice Throne, is tied to Gen Con 2022 for me. Okay, it is a memory that will always be, this is like a new game I played there, bonded with some people playing it. It was really fun. And then, of course, we were like, okay, this is fun. And the publisher told us that, like, if we're interested, come meet with them. And they hooked us up. Op Games hooked us up with their copy later. We bought the Marvel All-In.
Yes.
But the publisher sent us like some old Dice Throne stuff that we hadn't played before to play on the channel.
Not this though.
Not this. This was sitting on the front counter, like Mel said. We went up to buy the All-In Marvel box at Roxley Games booth, and on the counter they had just a little card, like a little sign sitting on the counter that had this picture on it. And we were like,
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, what is this? And we're like, can we buy this too? Can we add this in? And they're like, no, we're just letting people know that this is coming later. And we're like, you missed the Kickstarter, sorry guys, but this is coming later. And we're like, well, what use is this stupid sign here? Like, why would you have this sign here? This doesn't help anybody. Get it out of here. So I was like, that was annoying. This is stupid. Like, why have this if you're not selling it there? No one can buy it. It already happened on Kickstarter. It's too late. So we missed on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I knew though that they would have this next year at the convention for sure.
I didn't even think about it, to be honest. And
so I looked it up, and of course they are supposedly going to have it there. Supposedly. I don't know how many copies. They usually have piles of stuff at that booth.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually run out that fast.
Not a huge box.
Yeah, it's just a small little thing.
Yeah, and we were talking with some...
I'm sure it'll be at retail too, though, if it's sold that well.
Yeah, likely.
But yeah.
We were chatting with some other people who have this, and we were talking about how much fun it was. And I love, first of all, I also love Christmas, and we don't really have any Christmassy type games. So I think this is going to be really fun for something that we can do around the holiday time. Another reason to bring it back out. So I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super excited for this one.
And around the holidays, I'm always like, we're going to a family function, and Mel's like, you should bring some board games. I'm like, but I don't want to bring the same ones I brought the last couple of years. It would be so fun to bring a holiday theme game, and it's like kind of light that any non-gamer can play, and it's like around the holidays, just like the way I like to play Halloween or horror games around October. You know, certain things tie to me to certain times of the year, like that we always play like a Lord of the Rings game around this time of year or that time of year, or like Sword and Sorcery always play like this time of year, whatever. We don't have holiday games, so we go to these functions and we don't have something to play that's like a holiday theme, even if it's cheesy. But this is Dice Throne, which we know is pretty solid, and we liked it. So,
and it might be an interesting way to teach somebody this game and see if it's for them.
The only problem is it's a 1v1, so it doesn't really fit for going to a family function to fit that, but stay tuned. But this could just fit Mel and I doing a stream at the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
You know, right before the holidays, to just hang out and more casual game, to have fun and chat with you guys and drink eggnog and that kind of thing.
Wouldn't it be funny to watch like Santa versus Superman or something? Is Superman one of the guys?
Oh,
Spider-Man?
Mel, we just lost half our audience.
Sorry, I'm not Marvel. I forget.
Oh my.
Spider-Man, right?
You just named a DC property character.
Superman is DC.
That is in a Marvel licensed game.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have lawyers. Me. Yeah. Don't cancel me. Yeah, we're gonna have some angry emails from lawyers. You know, from Disney. Gonna be mad that you mentioned Superman while talking about a game that uses the Marvel IP also.
Oh yeah, you could do 3v3 or 3v4 like 4v.
Yeah, but this box, this box only comes with 2 fighters, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we gotta buy 3 copies of this, you're saying, to play 6-player?
No, we just
or do you expect me to bring a barbarian and Spider-Man and we fight with Krampus and Santa?
I mean, it'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Are you crazy? We can't cross the IPs like that.
But I'm super excited for this. So yes, this is one that I would like to get. This is definitely on my list. And I'm super excited because this is one that we couldn't find. We were looking all over. You can get this if you go on eBay or like secondhand markets, but it's way too expensive.
Dan Roberts says it's tough to have Christmas themed games when Rob is constantly inside dungeons looking for loot.
I know, right? But
you can put Christmas lights in that dungeon and put some little evil elves in there. And I'm trying to go find Santa the boss and take him down. That's Christmas themed. I'm trying to steal all his gifts, you know, or save Christmas somehow by defeating Krampus in the dungeon. And I have a bunch of elves as my little familiars helping me out. Nothing wrong with that. All right.
Yes, it'll be great stocking stuffer.
Yeah,
exactly.
if we can get it, we'll see. It's one that we want to grab when we're by the booth, but like, they could just come with like 100 copies and then like they're gone because Dice Throne has kind of a big fan base. So we don't know, but it's something if we're in that area by that booth, we'll go and like, do you have any left? We want to buy it.
Mm-hmm. But as you said, that it probably will come to retail now. Like it's.
So Stacy, when you're at that booth getting it really early and you're trying to get your copy.
I think Stacy has it already.
Oh, okay.
I think Stacy and Janet both
Anyone
have
who goes by Roxy's booth, if you can just tell them to put aside a copy for us, that would be great. Or I can send them an email, I guess. But never mind. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, it's okay. If we miss it, we'll just get it at retail later. It's no big deal. Hopefully before Christmas, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, this one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is kind of nutty. There are 2 games there using this license or IP, okay? So it's confusing. There's a company called Trick or Treat Studios that makes Halloween merchandise that is making 2 board games. This is not one of their games. This is from Prospero Hall, slash Funko Games is the publisher. And this is what I was saying, Prospero Hall, who's designed games like Jaws and Horrified and the Funkoverse games and
Did they do E.T. as well?
E.T. and many other family weight cool games that have been put in Targets and Walmarts lately that are pulling people into the hobby with not garbage games like Monopoly, Clue, and these older games that were designed like a century ago and haven't really held up over time mechanically. These are actually games made by gamers, like a whole studio of gamers is Prospero Hall, and designers and artists and stuff who make these pretty solid games. And I haven't played a bad one yet. I haven't played all of them, but these are solid family weight games that I could easily recommend to people to play over, like, you know, some of those other games. And instead of grabbing another deck of Uno beside it on the shelf, or Princess Candyland, maybe try this. No, I'm just kidding. Don't play this with your child. I'm joking. I'm joking. But I'm not really a huge... I've watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the newer ones, I think. I don't think... The original one, I believe I've watched like years ago. And I remember Leatherface and that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure. But I'm just a horror movie fan somewhat. I like them. Okay, I've been watching them since I was a little kid. I don't know why. That's probably why I'm warped. But it's by Funko, published, Prospero Hall design, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one versus many. It's three creepy dudes in a house, and there's victims are the many versus the one who's running the family. And here's the thing. I love one versus many horror themed games, you know.
So do I.
Last Friday is the one that's like got the Friday the 13th kind of theme from Ares Games. Love that game. Because I fell first in love with Fury of Dracula.
Oh, yes.
I love Fury of Dracula. Love that game. Okay, it's a little weird and complicated, and the rules aren't the greatest and all that stuff, but I've had some amazing experiences with that game, playing it with different people. I love Fury of Dracula. There's a digital version too, by the way, that's not too bad anymore. But this is a one versus many. It's horror themed. But since it's Prospero Hall, I assume it's a little more streamlined, not that long, easier to teach, hopefully, and still gets the fun of the tension of one person trying to kill all the rest and being a little secretive and stuff. So it's a one versus many, but it's the Prospero Hall weight, which will fit more with our gamer group that might play these games and won't be so complicated and hard to teach and get everyone playing. So yeah, so I'm interested to go check it out. I wish it was a different horror movie theme, but I'm not saying anything bad about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just not the one, you know, the property I'm really invested in. But I do want to go check it out, and I'm interested. And I looked at the other one that's designed by the other publisher. It just, I don't know. It's a new publisher. It's just only made 2 games that aren't even out yet. And it looked a little rough around the edges, but I didn't look too deeply into it. But I do want to go check that one out when I'm there. But I'm more excited for this one because it's from Prospero Hall that's made some solid games over the last few years. And they can be pulling in many players into the modern gaming hobby with some solid games. And I got to promote them for that, right? They're showing people decent games instead of garbage games and pulling them in. So I like that.
I've never seen this movie, but
yeah, so we'll watch it probably before we play it. I would show you the movie to kind of so you understand what's going. And it's based on the 70s movie, this one, which is cool. So it's got like that old creepy theme and art in it and stuff.
I just thought the saw tracker,
the chainsaw tracker,
so cool.
Yeah, so it'll be solid. It'll be reasonably priced, I'm sure, because it'll be all like kind of paper and plastic components that are more like retail level. Mm-hmm. But nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't look like a huge table presence, which is great for playing at with family at a little game night. And yeah, it's got a house. You run around the house and things are happening. You're trying to run away from killers. I think horror fits those one versus many themes very well. And that other company, I'll talk about one of their other games later.
Do you want to hear one really quick funny story about Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I can tell you guys? So when I was little, we were trick-or-treating, mm-hmm. and there was somebody's house that was all decked out. We trick-or-treat. I had my 3 brothers with me. We trick-or-treat. As we're all walking down the person's driveway, a man dressed like this, the leather face, has the like big apron on, dragging a chainsaw, like going, yes, against the driveway. She was chasing us and then other kids as they trick-or-treated from this person's house. It was like terrified. I think we all went home and were like, we're done with this. We're done trick-or-treating. Like we never wanted to go to that person's house again. Terrified. Probably why I never saw the movie in my adulthood. But yeah, so that's my story about this. Getting chased by somebody on Halloween. express
So
like this.
what I'm getting from this is I need to order a pack of adult diapers before we watch this movie.
No,
is what you're saying?
no, but it would be funny. So any of my brothers that we play this with at any of our functions, they're gonna have that same thought. I know it.
Oh no! So maybe I should avoid this game because it's traumatizing.
Oh, it's so funny.
PTSD will
No,
happen.
it'll just bring up that funny story again. It's funny now, but we were terrified when we were little.
Cool. So yeah, just something I'm interested in because again, Prospero Hall. We had fun with ET and like all the other games, Horrified and stuff I was mentioning. They designed some pretty cool stuff. So I want to see what they do with the one versus many horror genre. And I think we have Jaws now, right?
Yeah.
Didn't I get it?
We do.
Yes. But we have not played it yet. For sure we have it though.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. Every time it goes on sale, I like try to get it and I always forget or I miss on it, and that's like on my like bucket list to play Jaws, which is supposedly one of their best like kind of design games. And I do love Jaws. So we'll play that at some point on stream.
Yes, I enjoyed those movies.
We were always told why haven't we played that? What's wrong with you? But we'll fix that. So this one is for you.
Oh yes. Okay. So this is Exit the Game, the Advent Calendar, the Silent Storm. So there are others. This is not the first one. I think there is 3, 2019, 2020, 2021, I believe.
Yeah.
I've never seen any of these. I think I might have seen the box in our friendly local game store, but I never picked it up. I absolutely love Exit series. I love the puzzles. I love I just love like the Exit series, those 1 hour little boxes of fun. I don't know what you would call it, like the escape room in a box. And I've tried different types of those. This has 24 little puzzles in it, and you open one every day. And I guess you need to open each one, kind of like maybe gives you hints as to how to solve the next puzzle. So it's just something I'm curious to see. Like maybe I can see an old one. Like I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to do is look up the old one.
Yeah, like if they'll have an old one. Like I don't want to spoil myself, obviously. I think it's such a cool idea.
This is the 2020 one they had, but they had one in 2021, and then this is the newest one, I think.
Yeah. So, and Amanda says I did one last year, super fun. Oh, and Jana pre-ordered this. Yeah, and Jana sent the previous 2 as well. So it's just something like I love puzzles and that. So I think this is kind of going to be right up my alley. Not again something that necessarily we would stream. Like it's 24 little puzzles. I don't know if you could do them, I guess, all at once. I'm not sure how long it is. I'd have to look more into it in that respect. But it just looks super fun. I love this type of game.
It's a 24 parts adventure story in one. To unravel the mystery of the Silent Storm, you must open a little calendar door every day. Behind each, you will find a new and exciting puzzle, the solution of which will help you move on to the next room. Only if you follow the clues and solve all 24 puzzles, you will find the thief in the book and save Christmas.
Yeah, it just seems really cool, right? Like you
That
have
is
to
fun, yeah.
you have to open it, you have to
Yeah.
solve that puzzle to be able to solve the next puzzle. You can do them all at once or one door each day. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Bob Bell since did one last year too. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it seems like a lot of people have
So
tried these.
they're not tied to each year. We could just buy all 3 and
We could.
do them any time, right? Like it's just a countdown to Christmas. So are they all themed like Christmas, or was that one was the ice cave I saw? So I'm assuming the Bumble's in there and he bounces.
I don't even know if it has
Bumbles
anything to
bounce.
do with Christmas. I think it's literally
This
like
one does. It says.
Oh,
This one
before
says you'll
Christmas,
save,
yeah,
No,
save
you'll save Christmas. The
Then-
thief stole the book.
maybe Janet or Bob or Amanda can say if the other ones are Christmas related. The thing is, it's hard because I didn't want to do too much investigating on these because I don't want to spoil myself on how it'll work. But I love little riddles and puzzles, and the escape series I love. I also think this might be fun if we did do it as a night at with our game group, because we played another kind of like
do all 24 at once?
yeah, like well, Janet says you can do them all in one night.
Level beginner. So yeah, we could probably rip through it. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, or like rip through some and then have dinner and then I don't know.
Yeah,
play through the rest.
Bob says last year's was definitely Christmas themed.
Oh, so maybe they all are. Okay. I didn't want to spoil myself by looking too deeply into it. So it's good to get the information from you guys, then I don't have to.
Whoops, I don't know how to type.
Oh, they are all themed Christmas. I did 2020 last December and 2021 this year in July. Okay. Yeah, I guess you don't really need to do them at Christmas time.
Cool.
But if along the lines of not having too many Christmas games, how fun would this be if we like played this around Christmas as well?
Yeah,
or one of
exactly.
these type games. So I am interested for all of those reasons, but just caught my eye for sure. And it's cool to see that other people are saying that the other previous ones are good. So that makes me even more excited.
They obviously were decent because they keep making them. So people liked them and bought them. And then probably more people bought the next one. So they're like, let's make another one. And they'll keep making them, right?
So I do remember when I first heard about maybe it was the 2019 one or the 2021. And they sold out so fast. So hopefully that's not the case for these ones. But I have seen...
But if you're buying it at a convention in the middle of the summer, it's probably easier to get than when it comes out at retail in like October or November and people are buying it up, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is an expansion for a game we liked. And I was told during COVID when I played this that, Rob, they're making a print and play campaign, solo campaign thing that you should play. And I went, oh, print and play. I don't like playing with print and play stuff. That's a pain in the butt to get that all ready and play with it. It never feels that quality. I like my games to feel premium quality. So I was like, I'll just skip it. I'm good. And I know you can get print and play stuff printed at card printing things online and get them pretty good quality. It just costs a bit and the shipping usually sucks to Canada. But I waited, and good things come to those who wait, supposedly. So they are now releasing that print and play solo / co-op campaign, and they've beefed it up and play tested it and added new things to it and got art and everything. And then threw some extra modules and expansions and stuff in this expansion to beef it up to a real expansion, I guess. So this is the second expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak, but it's a solo or 2-player campaign, which I'm not sure how I'm going to play it, but I want to play it on stream because I wanted to in 2020 or whatever, or 2021, whatever it was during the lockdowns. I remember playing it and loving it and playing it solo on stream, and people are like, Rob, you should play this thing. It's what you want. People were emailing me after and sending me messages saying, Rob, they released it. You should go print it and play it on stream. We'd love to watch it. And I went, oh, I would love to play it, but not right now. So I waited. Good thing I waited. So I pre-ordered this. You could pre-order it online. I don't know if you still can, and they'll hold a copy for you. You don't even have to pay for it. So shout out to CGE who did pre-ordering at Gen Con pickup properly. So you just get your name on a list. If you're not there by Saturday to pick it up, they just sell your copy to someone else. Very fair. You didn't have to pre-order. I didn't get locked out because I was in Canada or anything weird like that. So I'm going to go pick this up. And we're going to come back with it, and I want to play it, whether we play it 2-player or 1-player. I'm not sure yet how it's going to fit in the schedule, but I want to get Arnak back to the table. I want to try the campaign out because I have been since they did the print and play one. So I'm super excited for this. Just an excuse to play a deck building worker placement game again on my table. Again, I like deck building. I like worker placement. This game's pretty solid. So yeah, another reason to play it in a different mode. I think it's cool. So we'll try it out.
One cool thing from the chat here is as we're talking about different games, we're seeing people saying, I pre-ordered this, I'm picking this up, I'm going to demo this. So I think our lists are similar to some of the people in the chat, which is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, so that's that one. All right, this one's you.
Okay, Hunt a Killer. So a little bit of backstory on this. So initially we could not get Hunt a Killer in Canada. And then Hunt a Killer is kind of a series of, they would send you like a monthly box.
Subscription
service where they would send you like a little bit of information each month, and you would then try to solve a overarching mystery. These, however, are contained boxes. So this is one box, has all the information in it. This one is about a rodeo clown, I think, that's gone missing, right?
Yeah, he's been killed.
He's been killed, sorry.
And you're investigating. So these are like those kind of like an evening true crime detective solving kind of mystery story thing in a box.
Yes. They all have different levels of difficulty. So I'm curious to...
This one's a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5, okay. So I am curious to try these. We haven't tried any of these contained ones.
We tried different publishers' ones of these, and we had a blast.
Yeah, we did. We went to our game group and we played this, and actually it was a huge hit.
We played a different publisher's copy. You said we played this, but we didn't play this.
Oh, no, sorry.
We've never played a Hunt a Killer anything. The publishers reached out to me before, and I've replied and said, yes, I'm interested in playing your stuff on the channel. It'd be fun. My wife loves this stuff, and then they never responded. Then they send me emails later promoting new products, and I respond. So I think my emails go to their spam or something. So we're going to go to their booth at Gen Con. I'm going to say, hey, I know I gave you my business card last year. You email me, and then now you don't respond. Like, what is this? Like, is it a robot sending out emails or something? Or does your spam filter suck? But yeah, so anyways, we've been wanting to play this stuff on the channel, but again, we couldn't get it in Canada, as Mel said. Yeah. But we did notice last year in Targets and stuff, and at their booth, they were doing this whole
mystery in a box. So it's like a one night.
Yeah, not the expensive sign up and then get stuff mailed to you monthly and slowly the case unravels. And they actually have like real physical components, like, you know, little things you can examine and try to, you know.
Like you can see there, I don't know what you call that on like the cowboy, like those things that they wear on their neck. What is that called?
I forget.
I don't know. Somebody in
I ain't a cowboy.
might know, but it's called something specific. But they actually have like, or it looks like a little tin that's locked. So likely you have to figure out the code to be able to unlock that. So I'm curious to try these. I love trying to solve puzzles, and when we played it with our gaming group, it was a huge hit. Actually, even more than I thought it was going to be. The people that we were playing with loved it. So I am curious to pick up one of these contained boxes instead of the series of 6 that they sell.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Bolo tie. Thank you. Yes.
Bolo tie. Yeah. So this one, I have no idea if this is for me or if I like it, but I remember people mentioning this like a year ago to us on the channel as I'm talking about other CCGs and card games and things. And they're like, Rob, are you hyped for Lorcana? And I'm like, oh, the Disney one? I don't think that's targeted for me. But the hype was already building, and I looked into it and I went, uh-oh, the hype's really building online. And then they announced they're doing a Gen Con release for the initial line of product. And I went, my God. Like, I've been at Gen Cons when they have something new releasing and everyone wants it. It's rare, though, when everyone wants it, it seems. But this one, people literally are buying badges just to go here for this. Their friends are buying badges. And there's people trying to scam extra copies and scalp online and all this stuff. There's people saying they're going to be waiting at 4 a.m. to try to get product like this from the booth that doesn't even open till 10 a.m. It's going to be a psycho thing. Ravensburger has hired police and security to help with the lines, and so the fire marshal doesn't shut them down and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be a little nutty. And they're limiting things per person, per transaction. The events, you have to prove it's you with a ID and stuff like this, because they're worried about these scalpers just going in and like buying everything up. But this is the new Disney trading card game from Ravensburger Games that they supposedly haven't printed enough of. It's going to be available later, but everyone with CCGs usually wants to buy the first run of product because usually there's some exclusive promos or some super expensive card in there that won't get printed too much. And the game doesn't usually catch on in the first set. It usually catches on later and later and later. Then the early stuff becomes super rare, super limited, and super expensive. So ever since then, the investors and scalpers will come in and they'll try to buy up the first product to make it rare. And then people who come into the game later will be wanting those first printed cards and promos and stuff. But they're not going to have any supposedly exclusive promos at Gen Con. I don't believe that truly. I think in the tournaments they'll have stuff. But at their booth, they'll just have the same product that you can buy at your local game store on August 18th, or you can buy in Walmart and Toys R Us and whatever else exists. GameStop in Canada is supposedly selling this stuff in September 1st. So it has 3 release dates: the Gen Con early release date, the local board game store early release date, and then the mass market release date. So if you just wait 1 month, I'm sure you'll be able to buy this stuff no problem at any kind of big box store. So just go on your Walmart, your Target, your local game store on the 18th, whatever. I think the local game stores aren't getting much, and a lot of them are selling stuff at like double and triple the cost because they're being greedy scumbags. But this hype is always there at the beginning. And I don't know why, but this hype, I always get in this hype too myself for these kind of card games. Not all of them, but we're going to be there anyway. So I was like, well, we're at Gen Con and we love going for these hot releases. It's fun. And maybe we get it and try it out. So we're signed up for events. So we'll have some starter decks to play with. So I don't really know if I need to go to the booth for this, but maybe I will, just to film and show you the craziness.
I know, I just want to see it.
Yeah, maybe I'll get in line and try to get a couple starter decks so that if we get different starter decks in the event, we'll have one of each so we can play with them on stream or something. But I don't think I want to invest in this game. I don't think I want to play it too much beyond dabbling with starter decks to see what it's about. But I am curious. That's all it is. I'm curious. But this is going to be like the hottest thing there, supposedly. And it would be fun just to have this as a memory of like, oh, were you there in 2023 when people got killed trying to get Disney Lorcana? Like, yeah, I was in line. I was the one who stepped on the guy. That was awesome. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Toys R Us never went out of business in Canada. So we still have them locally. They're everywhere. Just the US Toys R Us didn't know how to run the company, supposedly, and couldn't compete with Amazon and Walmart and stuff. But no, fully in Canada, Walmart has not been able to wipe out, or Amazon yet have not been able to wipe out Toys R Us for some weird reason. I don't know why, but it's still busy. You go in Toys R Us, on a weekend or around the holidays, and it's busy AF. People still go there for their toys because there's like a perception of quality and selection that Walmart and Amazon doesn't seem to compete with, which is weird. But in the US, for some reason, they just couldn't run the company properly. But that was supposedly like mismanagement with funds and things. So, but yeah, Toys R Us is still Canada. Toys R Us Canada still exists, FYI. So, haha, we have something you don't. Just kidding. But all the board games there still suck, by the way. The board game section sucks. It's still the crappy board games you expect in a mass market store. Target and Walmart are doing it better, but
yeah, if only we had Target.
Yeah. Anyways, so Lorcana will be able to just go buy in a store September 1st. So we kind of don't care that much, but we're at Gen Con, so it's just kind of funny. It's a hype thing. We're there. Like, let's see what's going on. But we are going to go learn how to play it at an event. So I'm not too worried about the booth. We'll demo it. We'll try it. We'll let you guys know.
Yep.
And maybe it's fun. Maybe my daughter likes to play it. Maybe our family and friends want to play it. Maybe I'll just give them the cards. I don't know. Maybe they all of a sudden start buying cards and we're like, oh man, I want to play with you guys. And I have a reason to play a competitive card game with some people who would normally play me in a competitive card game. So that's kind of fun. And if it grows the hobby, it grows the hobby. I'm in. But anyways, Disney Lorcana.
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
Yeah, just curious. Nothing that crazy. Like, I would not lose sleep if I came back from Gen Con with nothing. I don't care, because I just go the 18th, go to a local game store. If they don't have anything, then I would just wait till September 1st, go try to grab some starter decks at our local Walmart, Toys R Us, GameStop, whatever. And we're good. We're good. All right, Mel, what do you know about this one?
So I think this was on both of our lists, actually.
Yeah, it
so
was. Yep,
this is a Plaid Hat game that is
Here's I'll help you. I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
If anyone knows about Forgotten Waters, which is a game I wanted to buy and I thought would be fun to play on the channel, we just never did. And it went on sale. Like,
I don't know why we never did. I can't remember.
It went on a crazy sale. Like the first year it came out at Gen Con, I didn't get it, but then later that fall, around the holidays, it went like super discounted everywhere. And I should have grabbed a copy, but we didn't. And then I just kind of forgot about it. No big deal. But this is based on that same system, but it's improved supposedly. If you loved Forgotten Waters, which is a pirate themed kind of story fun RPG, app driven kind of board game from Plaid Hat, supposedly this is based on that. And they took what people like from that and tried to improve on it. But this one's fantasy themed, right?
Yeah, which is interesting to me more so, I think, than a pirate theme.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'd like to look at this and see. It gives me a lot of vibes of Aftermath and Familiar Tales, you know, playing out of the book. One of the negatives, I guess, I would think for us is that you need 3 players. So you have to play 3 characters. You don't necessarily need 3 physical people, but you need to play 3 characters minimum for this game. So there would have to be kind of either one of us controlling 2, we'd need to rope Kyle in, or we need to have like a shared character. We don't always love that in games, but hey, I mean, I'm willing to see if the gameplay is fun. It's RPG light, so there is a little bit of like, I guess, role playing in it. So we'd have to see. I'm not the best at that. Like
Forgotten Waters came out at retail. Somebody says it's like it never came to retail, but it did for sure. This is Canada. You can still buy it.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so anyone who is interested in a pirate themed version of this game that's already available, it's out in retail. It's still in print. People buy it and love it. It's not expensive. It's just when I saw they're doing a fantasy, we're just like, pirate or fantasy?
Right. If I were to choose one, I'm gonna choose the fantasy one. And since we have the opportunity to go and see this game demoed to us or kind of in person, I'm going to see if it's something that I would be interested to play. But yeah, I do see like 3 players is throwing people off. So Amanda's saying, I've looked at this one too, but 3-player thing threw me off. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something to note about it is that is 3 players. So we'd have to either play with Kyle or control another.
Yeah, that will hurt
something.
That'll hurt the sales for people who want. It's meant to be more of a fun partyish kind of RPG game. So it takes RPGs, like the silliness of you're playing an RPG, having some fun and jokey puns and all that stuff, and they try to put it into a board game format.
Yeah.
And driven by a web app that works on phone or web browser that has full narration.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fully narrated. Well, I don't know if it's fully narrated when it released. Supposedly Forgotten Waters, I remember a lot of people are mad that when they released the game, the narration wasn't completed yet. And Plaid Hat's done that with a few games, supposedly. This game, they're hopefully going to have all the voice narration done by release, which it comes out in retail, I think, next week.
Yeah,
Same
August
time it
3rd,
comes out at Gen Con. So we probably wouldn't buy this at Gen Con because I don't want to carry around a game that I could literally just buy at home when I get there. But this will be widely available in retail next week, supposedly, or in the coming weeks at minimum. So we just want to go there and check it out, see what it's about. Maybe grab it if they have like some deal or promos or something. But usually when you buy from the publisher, it's like they just throw in a promo card, but they still charge you like full MSRP. But we know we can go support our local game store in some of these games and just buy them at less than MSRP even.
Yeah, I do like the playing out of the book idea. I do like the app that's kind of hiding information from you. And yeah, so I'm interested to check this one out.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I had it on my list. I was just like, oh, fantasy themed game like that. Forgotten Waters, I remember looking into it and was like, oh, cool. I think it'd be fun to play on stream. A little campaign game.
Yeah.
A little cute.
Yeah.
But then we didn't do it. And then I'm like, okay, now here's another chance. But this one's got dragons and swords and sorcery and all these things.
Yeah, more up our alley for sure.
Yes. All right. So here's some games that are just there for demo, not for sale yet, coming out later. I'm just going to rapid fire these. But you suppose they can walk up and play with these and demo them and you'll see them or something. I just want to go look and get some more information. I'm sure I could read online and probably find all the information in the forums and stuff. But I love going up to a booth, talking to them showing me stuff, seeing what's up. So the expansion for Ark Nova, which is supposedly trying to fix some of the things with Ark Nova, adding new elements. I know there's something with like more deck tutoring. So you can dig through the deck and try to find things you need. That was a lot of complaint people had. Supposedly doesn't fix everything, the problems people had, but supposedly addresses some of that. But I just want to look into it. I don't know too much about it, but I think it's probably releasing at like Essen probably later this year. I was hoping it was a Gen Con thing, but it's not. But it'll be at retail. They know how many people bought Ark Nova and how many people bought the crap out of that game. They'll hopefully print enough of this expansion so we're not chasing it down for a year. But yeah, tons of new cards, all Aqua, Marine Life, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Plus it has the Horse Whisperer card. So I just made that up there by seeing it for the first time. But yeah.
Oh, wow.
So just because of this card, you must have it in your collection. And now it finally fixes the game. I don't know if this is a joke or fake, but each time a petting zoo animal icon is played into any zoo, gain 2. Okay. All right. So there you go. That's like, how can you not, right? How can you not?
More cards though. Is that going to make people not want to buy it? You think?
I think it'll make more jokes how I can't fit it in my card holders and I sleeved it and now you can't see me on camera because I'm behind the deck trying to play it on stream. It's like falling over. Yeah. It's like playing Jenga. You know, you're playing Jenga when you're trying to draw cards.
And then you got to sort through that 500 card deck for a card you're looking for.
Yeah. So Cora Quest is a game I recently played on the channel. It's a fun family weight fantasy dungeon crawling game. Very well done. But it's just solo scenarios, one off, kind of like a Zombicide or whatever. There was no connected, funny campaign, but Dan, one of the designers, and his daughter Cora, Dan commented on our playthrough, on my playthrough, and said, "Hey, thanks for shouting out the game," and mentioned that they were working on, or on Kickstarter or something, an expansion to add a campaign mode. So this supposedly adds campaigns to Cora Quest. It's only there for demo, unfortunately, but it's one I'm just going to go by the booth and kind of see what is in this, what are you doing. Just something, if I'm by that booth, I'll check out. But I like this because it's fixing something that I wish the original game had, which is cool.
That's cool.
And I like that project. This one this was my most excited game to go buy. I would have literally went to this booth first because, again, circling back to what we mentioned earlier, I love horror theme. Halloween is a special place in my heart. My favorite horror property. And the fact that it's on a board game, okay, let me look into this. Its designer supposedly designed another one versus many hidden movement game, and I always forget, Spectre Ops, is that the name? Spectre Ops looked cool. It was on my list one year to buy. I just never bought it. We had other games to play like it, but I always heard it was really cool. But the designer of Spectre Ops supposedly is designing a Halloween version of this game based on, you know, the older movies from the late 70s. It's by that Trick or Treat Studios. But here's the scummy part, which put a bad taste in my mouth. So this publisher told Board Game Geek to put on their list that it was going to be there for sale, $60 or something. They're going to have copies. Come to the booth and buy it. I automatically went, I'm going for this game first thing. I'm buying a copy. Probably no questions asked because I love these one versus many hidden movement games. And it's got my like favorite horror IP on it. I'm in. But then I read in the forums on Board Game Geek, somebody emailed the company and asked them how many copies, you know, and that kind of thing is going to be there. And they went, oh, we made a mistake and accidentally told them it was for sale there, but it's no longer for sale. And this was weeks or months ago that they knew this, but it's still not changed on the list. And I feel like that's on purpose, because all it takes is an email to Board Game Geek to say, hey, can you change it that we're only demoing the game? But they're only going to have one copy there sitting on a table for you to kind of touch. That's it. No demos, no events, no nothing. They're just bringing the only copy they own to put on a table so you can see it up close. The game is not coming out till maybe Essen. They might have copies, is supposedly the deal, but that is super scummy that a whole bunch of people are going to go to their booth and think they can buy this, and they're not changing it because they want people to come to their booth and buy other stuff and see their stuff, right? So I feel there's some shadiness here, and that put a bad taste in my mouth. FYI, if I'm wrong, it doesn't make any difference because you still did it and didn't correct it. So yeah, that's too bad. But I want to go look at it because it's Halloween. I'm a sucker. But yeah, anyways, that's the deal. Not happy about that. And to touch on Mel's thing about we don't have a holiday game to play with other people, and she was talking about the Krampus thing, and I was like, it's only 2-player. This game was on the list. I don't know if it's any good, but it's a second edition to a 2017 game. Some kind of little Euro Elf Creek games. I think those are the ones that made the Merchants of the Dark Road, I think.
I think so.
Which was okay. Not really my jam. Wasn't the best Euro game, kind of boring. But they supposedly made a 2017 version and have updated it. But I don't know if this is for non-gamers really, but because it is by a decent publisher, it's holiday themed, it's a second edition, so hopefully they fix some things that people didn't like about the first one. This is a game I could bring over on the holidays, and I'm a gamer, and hopefully it'll make me feel like I'm playing something that's not just a party game. I'm gonna go look at it. I don't know if I care, but I put it on my quick, just gonna go by and see what's up. But it's only there for demo, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Which sucks. So hopefully it's out for sale at our local game store before the holidays, if it's any good. But
and maybe when we talk to them, we'll be able to find that out.
Yeah. So that's just something, again, not really for the channel. It's a 1.33 weight, but just for me to bring on a holidays, an actual game that's holiday themed to maybe play with people who want to play this kind of game. Yeah. And I don't know anything about the first edition, but
oh, the second edition cover looks way better.
Oh, it's a Rio. The first one's a Rio Grande game, so yeah, automatically the cover and production is probably way better in the new one. Because yeah, but yeah, look at this. Oh no,
oh, yeah,
the old one.
Definitely looks better.
But yeah, Elf Creek games definitely do nice production quality. That's for sure. That I know. Whether the game's any good, who knows? But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. That's all Mel has for you. That's all we got. Those are the games we're kind of interested in. There are some other games that were on my list up to yesterday, but then I looked and found out they were already available in local game stores, and we could literally buy them right now. And I could find reviews and information already about them, which happens because remember, Gen Con only happens once a year. Some publishers' games come out after the last Gen Con, and they want to promote them at a Gen Con. So obviously they have to wait till the next year. So, but if the game's already out and has been released and there's copies everywhere, that's not something I want to waste my time with at Gen Con, which you only have limited time. You can't see everything. I want to do so many things. And so, yeah, I'm going to ignore the things that I can easily buy at home and whatever. But maybe some of those things I'll check out in person and then just order them online after, which happens. I'll do a little window shopping. But yeah, so I had a poll going in the chat that says, are you going to Gen Con this year? I was just curious. And it's funny how different it is to our other Gen Con ones about information about the actual con.
Yeah.
So the poll, which I ended just now. So out of those watching live, thank you all that voted. 75% of you watching are not even going. But see, I was right that they'd care more about this stream because games being released at Gen Con and demoed at Gen Con will eventually come out and be available later.
Yeah.
Or you can buy locally, or at the next convention they'll be available there. You know, your local convention, whatever. So yeah, the information is irrelevant because, you know, it's about the industry in general, right? The games that are there. But yeah.
I don't know if there's any games that we missed, but if there's something that you think we should look into, please let us know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Jacko, yeah, Halloween is not there to purchase 100% from the publisher. They posted on BGG in the forums that it's not there, but for some reason it's not updated in the geek list. And supposedly they've known for like a month or so that it's not going there. It was a mistake, but no one's corrected that mistake. So again, why would you? Because it drives booth traffic. So, and they pay a lot for that booth. So I can understand, but it's still sketchy. So yeah. So a lot of people are going to be disappointed when they go to that booth and go, what? I can't buy the Halloween game? And you only have one copy here and you're not demoing it all really? Like it's just sitting there. Maybe you'll show us how it works. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out. Maybe I'll get some video footage from there. So let's see. Yogi's mentioning Age of Innovation. I have no interest in that game whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't really either.
Yeah, I looked at it. It's like it's like the Illusion of Gaia, right? Or something like one of those, or Project. No, what the heck? Gaia Project. Illusion of Gaia. That's like a Super Nintendo game. Gaia Project. The game that was Gaia Project was based off of, I don't remember, but it's like a similar game to that. I just don't care. Edward says, Undaunted Battle of Britain is something I would be looking forward to. That's cool. We again have Undaunted, the first one. We still haven't played it, so I can't look into more Undaunted till I've played the first one. And we got the first one after we saw it at Gen Con last year. Oh, Terra Mystica, that's the game. Thank you, guys. Undaunted, we got it a few months after Gen Con last year at J&J's Collectibles. And we just haven't played it. We haven't gotten around to playing it yet. So, and I know those are readily available at retail. Like you can buy all the Undaunted products. So it's like, once we play the first one, if we like it, then I'll start looking into other ones. But yes, that's just why it's not on my list to care about. I'm not going to buy new versions of games that are just like, basically, I already own and I haven't taken out of the shrink, so I can't buy more of it. I've done that in the past. I can't do it anymore. Drives me nuts. Yogi says, War of the Ring, the card game against the Shadow expansion. I don't really care for that. I like the game the way it was with like the multiplayer format.
Yeah, same.
I don't care to make it a co-op, and the co-op implementation, based on what I looked at quickly, I don't think you should mess with a game like that, in my opinion. So I have no interest in a co-op / solo expansion for that card game. I bet they had to bend that game in half and basically break it to make it work in that mode. And it's probably not that interesting. Hopefully I'm proven wrong. So I might go check it out there, but I'm like not interested at all. Like I don't care. So yeah, I probably won't check it out and won't stop by. But if like I'm in that aisle and it's there and someone's like explaining it to someone else, I might kind of listen in for a minute. But yeah, it feels like that's just like a band-aid fix. And I bet if they made that in a year and tried to quickly solve a problem, because that game's sales probably didn't do that well because it was missing that mode. I don't trust that it's executed very well. But I could be wrong. But I get a bad feeling from that one. So yeah, I'll wait to see how it does. Because again, that'll be available at retail later too. So I'm not, that's not a, I need to check that out, Gen Con one. But I don't know about the War of the Ring one. I don't know. Jacko says 3-ring circus, mission control, critical orbit. I don't know what mission control is, but the 3-ring circus.
3-ring circus I looked at.
Yeah, I looked at
it. It looks fun, but I don't know. Not something I needed.
Just like a Euro game with the you're like running circuses. It does look cool, but I don't think it's something I want to buy there. We're really interested in. Amanda says, I'm interested in picking up Tales from the Red Dragon Inn and demoing Horror on the Orient Express. Horror on the Orient Express, I want to go look at it. I forgot to put it on my list of things just to stop by and look at quickly. Because it looks like that could be a cool project. But yeah, it's only there for demo, but it's still good. I want to see it. So I forgot to put that one on my end of the stream there. Check these games quickly. That would be on my list there.
Oh, so sorry. This mission control is asymmetric cooperative roll and write real-time rescue adventure.
Holy
crap. One player
crap.
takes the role of the flight commander and up to 3 players take the role of the flight controllers. Oh, that's cool. 20 minutes. Interesting. So it's like a roll and write.
But real time. Actually, I did look at this. I didn't put it on my list. It reminded me of Captain Sonar kind of idea.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little craziness going on. Everyone has their roles.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. Just I don't know if that's what I'm looking for. But I'll probably check that out there, actually.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Amanda's Tale from the Red Dragon Inn. I did look into that one. But like all the Red Dragon Inn properties, I've looked at every year. I go to that booth and kind of look at their stuff. There is something, I know they've used different artists, but there is something about the art, the graphic design of that game that just rubs me the wrong way and doesn't interest me at all. I don't know what it is. It just feels amateur, but I'm not knocking it. Like, I'm sure they do well because they keep making new products in that IP, and that obviously that's like the company's biggest game, I think. But yeah, it's just every time I go, I look at a new game they make, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's the time I hop into this Red Dragon little universe, Red Dragon in universe, and I'm just like, I can't. I don't know. Just something about it. I don't know. I know that's weird. It's like very shallow. But yeah. I have to limit the games I buy and play with some kind of criteria. And yeah, I could just play fantasy games that look a little more mature and not so cartoony. I don't know. Oh, Bob says, Red Dragon Inn is a good drinking game. I don't play it sober. Oh, okay, man, that's the problem. I need to take a few shots before I go to their booth. And I'll take everything. This all it looks great.
That is funny.
But yeah. Black Cheval, do you go to Gen Con? Or do you just watch from the sidelines? Because they say, I'm kind of surprised there isn't an anticipated big box release at Gen Con, like Oathsworn, etc. last year.
No Oathsworn last year?
There was no Oathsworn there last year. That was a big scam.
Yeah, they tricked everyone.
Yeah, to get people to come to their booth to sign up for a printing months later.
Which I think is not fulfilled yet.
That was super scummy. That was super scummy what they did at Gen Con last year. There was no Oathsworn ready, but man, I stood by that booth for like 10 minutes a few times during the con. And the amount of people that would walk up going, oh, here it is, guys, we found it. All right, can we get some copies? Do you have any copies left? And they're like, oh, no, sorry, we have none left. But we'll take your name on this tablet here, and we'll send you an email when we're ready to do another print run.
And check it out on the table here.
Yeah. And, oh, but look, we're demoing it here on a table. And I was like, what? They had never any intention of bringing any copies there. They might have had maybe a couple at the very beginning to say that they had some at Gen Con.
I don't think they had any.
No, it was, no. It was, yeah, they didn't release Oathsworn at Gen Con. That was a hot game on people's lists, but that was a hot game on people's misinformed lists.
Yeah,
So,
I think the way that they worded it made it seem like they were going to have copies there. So a lot of people were excited, but they didn't.
See, and I knew that, Black Cheval. I knew that you only saw information online, but if you were at the con, there was a lot of frustration around that was a scummy thing they did. And people left with a kind of a bad taste in their mouth, that they were excited. They were like, man, I couldn't get it online. I've heard great things about the game. But they were really just driving booth traffic. They didn't care that it was misinterpreted. But they never, I don't think, had any intentions of having copies there. They had none left. So yeah, so a lot of people went there very disappointed, and they're probably still sitting there disappointed that they haven't got their copy.
Yeah, because I thought I saw something yesterday or the day before saying that the pledge manager is closing on Monday.
Oh God.
So.
But that might have been for the October. Remember they had a Kickstarter in October for like a second printing?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but that probably is related because they were taking people's email when the second printing was going.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
So yeah, ask online how many people are happy with their copy of Oathsworn they got at Gen Con last year. Yeah, that was embarrassing. But yeah, there's not, okay, here's the thing. Gen Con, we've been going for like 10 years. The big releases that I know of, I don't know about big box releases. I can think over the years, I remember like Netrunner the year before we went was like the big release that people were killing each other over and trying to buy boxes of, the FFG reprint of the 90s Wizards of the Coast collectible card game. That was a huge release that caused crazy panic, was nuts. Mansions of Madness was supposedly one, kind of a big box game that released, but it released the same day at retail one year, so I kind of was like, whatever. X-Wing, yes, X-Wing was a big one.
Legend of the Five Rings.
I remember the Seafall one, but that was a scam. That was based on like everyone loving Pandemic Legacy, I think. And they were like, oh, we have a Rob Davio game. We're doing Plaid Hat Games. Seafall, it's his own design. It's a legacy game. And people went, oh my God, we got to buy it. And they're like, we have limited copies. They only brought like 100 of them. And the VIG people before the booth, before the hall even opened, they bought all the copies. So everyone ran to that booth when the hall opened on Thursday, and they just had a sign up, sold out. But it created so much buzz. Everyone was so excited about it. But then everyone who started playing it was like, man, this was like the biggest scam ever. The game was so like boring and not exciting and not a high quality design by any means, which is why no other publishers really wanted to publish it and why they eventually published other games he was doing. But yeah, that was a scam. So whenever somebody's like, oh my God, this is the limited big release there, I'm like, I've seen some stinkers be the big Gen Con game that later nobody really talked about or played. This year, the big release is Lorcana. Lorcana is that hype big release that people are going nuts for. People outside of board gaming and Gen Con are actually flooding Gen Con to try to get. Whether it's for scalping, whether they're just Disney fans, whether they're CCG fans that maybe never would have gone to this convention. Lorcana is hitting the mainstream news. It's on mainstream websites talking about how the first place to get it is at Gen Con. So people actually were rushing the event site. We're trying to get stuff going. Our online going nuts. I've seen tons of buzz about it. That is an actual game. They're going to actually have product. They released the limits they're selling. They're going to have product every single day, but only limited quantities. They're only limiting so much per purchase. That is the big release this year. Lorcana, the Disney collectible card game from Ravensburger. That is the closest thing I can think of to a big release. And we haven't seen a big release in years, I feel. There was no big release really in the last few years. Again, because not every publisher is gone. Because of COVID, attendance was down. So why would you care about making your big release at Gen Con when not as many people are there or caring about it? So this is the first year that Gen Con's kind of back to possibly levels that it was before Gen Con, before COVID. But it didn't sell out this year like it sold out the few years before COVID. So it's definitely not as packed and as attended as before. Because I haven't gotten emails saying 4-day badges are sold out, Saturday badges are sold out, Thursday badges are sold out. So Lorcana is obviously not driving the attendance like other games and other things were driving attendance in 2017, 18, and 19, where those were having sellouts of badges months and weeks and before the con. So yeah.
But the other thing is with big boxes, let's say like Osworn, it's very expensive for a company to bring enough of those huge boxes to Gen Con. Also, the booths are not that big. So I feel like it's a challenge to have a release of something that big and that heavy. Just like Matt's saying about Descent, Legends of the Dark, or whatever the second one is, Act 2. That box is so huge.
But that could be a surprise. That is the one game in old FFG world, that game would show up there all of a sudden on out of nowhere, they would have it at their booth. But FFG doesn't really have their own booth anymore. They're part of the Asmodee umbrella that a bunch of publishers share a demo area and a bunch of publishers share a retail area. So it's not like that kind of thing anymore. Last year they had that Twilight Inscription, but it was being sold by some random store, not even related to Asmodee, I don't think. But they had limited copies. I guess they gave them a few boxes and were like, here, sell these at your booth. Yeah. That was a surprise release. So they could have copies of a game there you might not be expecting, which could be Descent. But again, they're so huge.
I know, that's how many can they bring? And I think they did mention that, are they selling the first? I don't think so. I think they're just demoing the first one.
I don't know. I
don't even think they're demoing the second one.
No, they're demoing the first one, and they're giving out exclusive promo dice if you demo it there. Okay. But the second one comes out in August, in a few weeks. 2 or 3 weeks, the second ones are released at retail, supposedly. So that's why I'm not worried about Descent at this con. But I'm sure it'll be there on one demo table in the main hall, maybe. Yeah. Another one I see mentioned is... the Chip Theory Games are supposedly demoing Elder Scrolls to press. I don't know if they're putting it out on a table. It's supposedly still missing a lot of art. It's still the same prototype they were using in videos a while back. So I'm going to demo it and try it out there in a 2-hour hosted demo. Should be fun. Mel and I are going to get behind the curtain again and have some fun playing it. So I look forward to that.
I'm excited for that.
I don't know if I'll stream it though, like I did with the Hoplomachus one last year. But I think I'll just stay more focused on the demo instead of worried about, is the stream still working?
Yeah, because then we can just chat afterwards about it.
Yeah, we'll talk on stream after our impressions of actually playing the game in person, which I already told them, I'm interested. I don't really need to demo it. I've seen it. I know what I like. But if you're going to spend 2 hours teaching me, I'm in. It's one of those fun experiences I can only have at Gen Con, right? Yep. Yep. So that's cool. So I'm going to do that there. So they're demoing it to press. I don't know if they're going to have it on a table at all to try, but I'll try it and I'll let you guys know. What else? No, Stacy, we didn't mention Dead Cells. I don't know anything about that video game series, so I don't really care about the board game.
Yeah, it didn't stand out to me in any way.
Yeah. But it's supposedly people are excited about it. And it looks pretty solid, but I don't know what I'm comparing it to, what I should expect in a Dead Cells board game. So Again, I don't know. It could be awesome, but again, if it's that awesome, maybe I'll look into the video game later in the year when the game's out and people are telling me it's an awesome game and I must have it. But again, in the Gen Con list of games, it might stand out a little more because it's in a pile of other Gen Con games. So it might look a little better than it does because of that. I don't know.
Also, things that we did not mention on our list, we may see them in person at Gen Con or have them demo to us, and that totally might change our mind.
True. Like Queen by Midnight, Jeff B's mentioning, the production on that looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
But I don't know if I need a game because the production looks cool. I need a game, solid game. And being a princess, fighting each other in a supposedly really light game that's like overproduced. Not against that, but I don't know if that game's for me. But again, we'll be at Gen Con. Maybe we'll check it out. But it's not something on my list. Like if I leave Gen Con and I forgot to go check it out, I don't care.
No.
But other people care, and that's fine. But I don't. There's a fox breeding game Jeff B's mentioning. That's the one by the same lady that designed Wingspan, which looks pretty and looks interesting. I just don't know if it's for me.
I don't remember that one.
It's called the Fox Experiment.
Oh, yes. Okay, I know.
Which people have been hyped for since last year. I think it was demoed there. And I think I might have had it on my list last year. We looked at it, I think.
Oh.
And sometimes when a game was there last year and it's there again this year, I kind of didn't care. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
geez.
I ignored those as well.
Yeah, a lot of those games, I'm like, we looked at this last year. It was there. Like, they still haven't got the game out. They're still demoing it.
Yeah.
No, thanks. I'm not even going to talk about your game. I don't care about your game. I obviously went there last year and I still don't have your game. Your game never came out. So red flag.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about seeing your game for the second time this year. Seeing your demo you weren't able to release. So obviously your company has some problems. But yeah, so there's lots of demos there that were there last year already. So I don't know, it's weird. Stacy says, kind of like it, may not be a huge Gen Con haul this year. I'm trying to actively make it not a huge Gen Con haul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Brant. There's Brant. Miniature Market is the Asmodee seller. Yeah, Brant, we were talking about you earlier mentioning games last year that we should have looked at that we totally ignored. So thank you for those recommendations.
But I think everything that people have noted, I at least looked at.
Family Fun Time Games or something like that is a local store that tends to stock of Asmodee titles. Oh, okay.
Is that in Indianapolis?
Okay. Oh, Edward says, I'm not a fan of Scythe, but Expeditions is supposed to be a big Gen Con release. Is it though? Is that out yet? I pre-ordered that game to try it. I think a lot of people have their copy already who pre-ordered it through Stonemaier. But I think it comes out to retail very soon. Like very soon. But yes, people will be able to buy that at Gen Con. I don't know if it's any good, but I want to try it because I like Scythe. But I don't expect it to be the same as Scythe or anything. Just look like Scythe. Have the same art and graphic design, which I'm not opposed to. But yeah, you could be right. That could be a big release, quote unquote. But I don't know, maybe.
Oh, so this Family Time Games is in Indianapolis. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So, Brant, do they have a booth at the con too? Or you're saying if we go there instead of before or after the con, we can grab stuff there too? Is what you're saying?
I love to.
Because I know our local cons here, the local stores will have booths at the con selling stuff too, right? I'm assuming that happens at Gen Con, but maybe not. I don't know. I know I've seen stores from like Pennsylvania at Gen Con that have booths. And I'm like, what? What are you doing here selling stuff? Weird. Family Time Games is in Indy, and that's the one. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Brand says Expeditions is great. It'll be sold at the Meeple Source booth. Oh, yeah. I mentioned that on a previous stream, but I should mention that now. Yes. Stonemaier Games does not go. They haven't gone in years, but they use Meeple Source, and a few other publishers use Meeple Source that sell upgraded board game components. They also have games at the booth, selling them for other publishers, like basically renting out booth table space. So they'll have copies of Stonemaier stuff there.
Oh yeah, so this store does go and have a booth at the con, and even Janet says we went to the store after Gen Con and their stock was low because everything was at the con still.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's so cool. Okay, that's cool.
That's what I mean here. Yeah, there's stores that do the same thing here.
I love that.
Yeah, or like at comic conventions and pop culture conventions, all the local comic stores will take like a lot of their stock and then go to the convention for the weekend. So if you walk in their store, there's like one dude there who doesn't know what he's doing because all the rest of the employees are at the convention and all their stock is there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, hello. Or they're closed. Sometimes they're just flat out closed during that weekend because they make more sales at the con.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Matt says you can still pre-order Expeditions for pickup at Gen Con. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I pre-ordered at a local game store, so I'm just waiting for it. And it's supposedly a game store that partnered with Stonemaier to like get copies when they come out and all that stuff. So I feel like I'll get my copy when it's available in Canada. So I'll just wait for that. So Brand says Age of Innovation, which someone mentioned already. Federation, I'm not sure. Barcelona doesn't look like it's for me.
No.
Based on looking at it. World Wonders, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, and Next Evolution. Okay. Next Evolution's not available there, is it? It's just like demoing? Or are they going to have copies for sale? I know that one would be your must for sure. I totally... That I understand.
Oh, this Federation, I think I looked at as like spacey.
But those are your musts. Age of Innovation, Federation, Barcelona, World Wonders, and Next Evolution. Next Evolution is a Marvel Champions campaign expansion for anyone who's curious what the heck that is.
Federation is a Euro game. Okay.
We went to that store after... Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's what you read. Yeah. Okay. Just looking through the other posts. World Wonders is getting a lot of buzz. Hope to pick that up. All right. What is World Wonders then? I'm going to get the copy before you do. I'm just kidding. I wonder what World Wonders is. World Wonders. 2.43. Buy tiles, manage resources, and place wonder tokens to build your own ancient city.
Yeah, it's like city building, tile placement.
A polyomino tableau building game.
Exactly that.
This is like the hotness. There's like so many of these now because like Isle of Cats and stuff that sold really well. Like everyone is making these games now. And like Arc Nova did really well. It does look cool though. I'm sure it's a super solid game, but it's like...
Oh, this is the English edition, so they must have had it.
Yeah. A lot of games, are designed in like other languages and they sell well in those countries. Like Uthia, where like we didn't know about that game. It wasn't in English. It was successful, and then they made an English edition, and it bloated into the giant monstrosity of goodness that we've played here. But yeah, this theme, like looking at this, I'm like, this is not the exciting gaming experience I'm looking for at a convention, but I probably could play this at home and love it. But yeah. But
I do look at games like this and I'm like, if somebody said, do you want to sit down and play this? I'd play it. I'd probably have fun. I'd be able to talk about it later, but I don't need it in my collection.
Yeah. Like I'm the type where Euro games never draw me in, but when I play them, they're freaking amazing. I love them. But for some reason, they never draw me in. Like it's like their marketing and graphic design people are like scientists and don't like, you know, they're like engineers that don't understand how to make like beautiful looking things. In my opinion, very subjective, I know. That's why the term dry Euro is like a thing, but like, man, I know they're fun and I know they're solid and I like them. It's just with my game group, sometimes I pull a game out like this. I'm like, hey guys, I would love to play this with you. And they're like, okay, sure, teach us. And as I'm talking to them, I can tell they're not interested and it's like boring for them. And like, I can't even get them to care. And it's like, okay, I can't waste my time with these kind of games if they're not right for my game group, right? But I love the little puzzle of these kind of games and the competitive nature sometimes of them. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, Brant, here's the thing. Brant says, did you play Isofarian Guard yet? That would be my personal choice for you too. Here's the thing with that. Yes, you would think so. And I thought so. And again, Isofarian Guard, I looked at that on crowdfunding. I said I would wait to see how it came out because it looked very like maybe not so great. And then it got delayed many times during COVID. They tried to, you know, promote it again, get people in on it. It delivered. I did hear a little buzz. Some people said it's not that bad. But then I went and looked into it, the final copy, watched some reviews, read some things online, and there were a few things driving me away from it. I'm sure it'd be fun to play off stream, and I probably would rather do that. But to get myself locked in 200 to 300 hours of content and a super grindy game, supposedly really grindy, which I'm not opposed to in my video games. I mean, back in the day, playing on Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, I don't mind grinding to get a few levels. I guess Chrono Trigger wasn't that grindy, but you know what I mean. Doing that in a board game, a lot of time and effort to not get far and be stretched out and add artificial time length to the game to stretch out a campaign. I don't know if it's for me, but the story looks cool. The idea of the game looks cool. The gameplay looks okay. But I just don't know if I need another game like that right now in our collection. And I know if we get it, it'll probably sit there for like a year before I ever even get around to it. But yes, fantasy, campaign, story driven, all this kind of stuff looks
Leveling up.
Yeah, yes, it all looks awesome.
Like on paper, it sounds great.
Yes, but exactly, Jacko's like, those would be long streams. And that's the problem. If like I spent so much time learning and playing games for stream purposes for my job, like to try to keep a house over our head too, like help out, you know, and it's like, I don't know if I want to get that dedicated to something like that when we already have many other campaign games. Like, you know, we're still in the middle of playing Frosthaven, and we have other campaign games we could play, and some we might find at Gen Con, some that might come out later. We got Descent, the second Descent coming out. That's going to pull our time. I still have Lord of the Rings, Journeys to Middle-earth campaigns I want to play through.
Yep.
I don't even know. There's so many other games.
Yeah.
I saw someone ask if we had Chronicles of Druganor. Yes, we do. And yes, it just got finished getting painted. And yes, I want to play that at some time. But if I keep buying new campaign games, I'll never get to those ones. So we have quite the queue of games that I probably shouldn't even used money. Thank you for your support, by the way, to go to Gen Con this year, because there's probably nothing channel related I can think of that is really needed, considering the amount of games we already have that were recommended to us by you guys, or that we know people would be more interested in us playing and we know we'd have fun with. I don't really need to add games to the collection, so I shouldn't even be going to Gen Con, but there are other reasons to go, which I always got to remember. It's not always about getting another game on the channel to play with you guys. It's about hanging out with you guys, which last year I learned was one of the coolest things ever. Well, I knew it was cool before, because when we did it tournament related, we used to play like competitive card games, and we go and hang out and karaoke and all that kind of fun drinking with all the people playing in our metas of our different card games. Those are so fun.
But I feel like this is different.
It's very different.
Very different. Like, we chat with you guys multiple times a week.
Yeah.
We don't know who you are. You know who we are, I feel like. We know some of you are. Yeah, but even so, like, the interactions and the conversations that we had with some of you guys really bonded us, right? So I feel like we give you guys like behind the scenes, or we tell stories about us. We don't know anything about you.
So Brant says, Witcher would be my #1 for you. But I watched you play it already. Yeah. And Witcher was definitely a hit. I honestly, another problem. I just played Witcher yesterday. I want to play more Witcher. I want to stream more Witcher. I want to try the expansions. There are tons of comments on that video already since yesterday. It already had 100 likes. So I knew it'd be a good game for the channel, for viewers who want to watch us play it. And I figured I would like it based on what I was told. Yogi, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much.
You were too kind. Says, stop spending our money on campaign games.
Oh, Yogi, thank you. Where would you like this to go?
Well, he did the poop emoji, so I don't know if he means campaign games are crap or he's joking with us.
Oh, so maybe you want a couple like one-off games?
But he's been saying all the Gen Con games are poop, so I don't know.
Thank you, Yogi. That's very generous. Thank you.
Thank you for the support. But yes, Witcher was awesome. And this, I even said to Mel yesterday, I was like, we got finished playing Witcher, and I'm like, it was nice to play a kind of a more simpler, very nice produced game and in the Witcher universe. And then I started reading the comments yesterday and this morning, which were all like, you guys shouldn't be playing with this without the Wild Hunt or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Don't play solo without Wild Hunt. Also, the Monster Trail expansion or whatever is a must. What are you doing? You're not even playing it in the best version. Stop. Play it with the Monster Trail or whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, someone said that on stream too. Damn it. I just literally want to schedule a stream like tomorrow and try it with those expansions, but we can't because we're going to Gen Con. Again, that goes to my point of like, we have so many games already we want to play that we have queued up that we know are going to be fun, and we don't have enough time to play them all even over the next year. So that is going to help me keep my Gen Con purchases to a minimum.
Yes.
And my haul a little shorter. Again, someone clip this and compare it to us after we get back from the convention showing all the games we bought or received. But we're going to try to keep it limited. Kanji, thank you so much.
Thank you. Kanji gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Thank you
so much. Why, Kenji? Why? Why must you do this to me? Why? Why be so nice?
Thank you so
Stop
much.
being nice. But I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. I can tell you to stop doing this in person. You don't have to do this. Stop it. But I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for beer money. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
There's a lot of people that have donated for drinks. Rob and I may not be able to walk if that was the case.
Listen, we can spread it out, all right? We can spread it out. I'll need a few before we go to that Red Dragon Inn booth, so it's all good. Yeah. I'm just kidding. It's so bad. I'm sorry, publisher of Red Dragon Inn Games. I'm sorry. I'm having fun at your expense. I'm sorry. Jacko says, can you transfer tickets to another person? I'm bailing on Big Game Night. I don't think so, no. But what you can do is go get credit put on your account, I think, for returning an event ticket, or maybe get a refund. I'm not sure. There's different rules if you do it before the event versus during the event versus after the event, and if the event was canceled or not canceled or whatever. So what you need to do is just, you probably can do it online right now, is just put the ticket back in the system for someone else to grab. Even if it's not trying to give it to someone you know, but just someone else who might not have gone to the event and doesn't understand generic tickets and know how that works, because they didn't watch our stream like they should have, explaining all the event stuff. But yeah, you could just refund it and it'll give you credit on your account. And then if you buy another event ticket or buy generics, they can just take that money out of your account instead of you buying it. Or your badge next year, that money can go towards that. So yeah. But I think you can only do it up to a certain point at the con, I think. So get your refund for it sooner rather than later. But yeah, you're bailing on Big Game Night. That's cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, they have no problem filling that up. So yeah. But yeah. I don't think there's a way to like say, you know, somebody who wants it. The best way to do that is tell the person you're about to get the refund, and the other person literally sits there refreshing that event page. And once your ticket frees up, they need to buy their ticket. But all they have to do is add it to their cart, and it'll be locked for them for like 10 minutes or something. That's your best way to do it. So if you're going to give it to someone, make sure they're online ready to buy the ticket after you refund it. But that supposedly works. And there are people that do it that way. Like, there are people literally sitting online, refreshing, waiting for event tickets. So you got to sometimes be that kind of organized to make sure your friend gets the ticket.
KJ says I won't be there Thursday. Are you not coming until Friday?
Wait.
That's sad.
Wait, what? I thought you were going early, or was that only last year? I thought you said this year too you were going earlier, but maybe not. I'm so sad I won't be there Thursday. So are you coming in Thursday night or Friday morning?
Oh, Friday at 11. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
I was going to use you to help me throw some bows to try to get some Lorcana. I know, you know, I taught you the method. Last year was training for this purpose.
Who's going to wait at the front of the line at 4 a.m.? Not us. I think that's the time you got there last year, right? Like 4 or 5 a.m.?
Yeah,
and then we just roll up a couple hours before. Yeah,
we were those a-holes who were like, oh, we know that guy up there.
Amanda, thank you so much.
Amanda, thank you for the super chat. We can have a beer together at the con if you're down. Let me buy you the Red Dragon Inn beer.
Thank you. I think Amanda, if I remember correctly, Amanda is not sure if they'll be coming down to the party on Wednesday night, because I think based on like what time they get in and.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Because I don't know we take time to even go there any other time other than the Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Because it's like usually I don't, unless somebody's like, let's go eat at the food trucks in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Unmatched Tales. See, we still haven't tried those unmatched games, Brant. We still haven't tried them. Only demoed at Gen Con is really well done. Tales to Amaze. Yeah, all those unmatched games. People are so excited about those, and we've been told we should try them at least. But yeah, just never have. And I see they keep releasing new ones, so you know people love it. And it's popular. Yeah, we'll try that, Kenji. We'll try it at the end of the day. Yeah, that's our plan.
Yeah.
We'll stay in touch through that Discord channel when we're there in case anything changes. But yeah, the plan, of course, if we can, meet up in the evenings and dabble in some games, maybe do some streams. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely Thursday night, though, if we have our Lorcana decks, maybe if no one's got another game that we're interested in playing, we can just jam some Lorcana games. Because we should have learned it from our intro session and our brain shouldn't be completely fried by then.
Right.
So maybe we can just dabble with some light Disney card gaming and try it out with people. And maybe if people got doubles of decks, we can trade and like make sure everyone has different decks or something. I don't know. We'll try to find an area in the gaming hall or the open gaming area. Maybe we can do that, but that's all I know for sure. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But again, maybe we get taught the game. We're like, this game is craptastic. I don't want to play this stupid game. It's boring. It's all hype. But we'll see.
Oh, Amanda intends to come to the block party on Wednesday, just depend on traffic. Okay, hope to see you there.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll message in that little private Discord channel on our private Discord server with our producers who are going to be on site at Gen Con. I've added a bunch of you there already. I know you're all chatting in there. But if any of our producers are going to Gen Con and didn't let us know, drop it in the convention thing or mention us on our producer Discord. And I'll add you to that private chat so that just those on site at Gen Con can keep in touch and send pictures to each other, let each other know about games they've seen, where they're meeting, what we're doing. So if you're just curious and you're like, guys, I'm bored, it's 8 p.m., where are you guys at? And anyone who's interested for looking for a player for a game or wants to just come hang out and rest your feet, or just chat or join us on a live stream for fun and talk about your day. We'll probably be doing that at the end of every day.
Yeah, those are fun.
If it works again, like last year, knock on wood.
Mm-hmm.
But I did buy a SIM card again, like I said, so hopefully I'll have unlimited data access that hopefully works for streaming. But I won't know until I'm there and I can test it. It might be just a wasted money that I did, but it worked. The first Gen Con we went over to like a T-Mobile store in downtown Indy, I remember, and Shamar and we bought 2 unlimited prepaid SIM cards, and we were able to get reception the whole time we were at the con. But back then it wouldn't have been good enough for streaming, I know. But maybe today's data technology and rates and bandwidth and stuff, hopefully some areas in the con that don't have Wi-Fi, I can use my phone to get us on a connection. But I remember like 2017, the sellout Gen Con, I remember getting no cell phone reception in some areas of the con because the towers were overloaded.
Yeah.
Too many people were in the same place at once, crushing them. But hopefully it's better now. It has been better over the years, but I think it's because Gen Con's been offering Wi-Fi, so less people are on the data networks. So that also is a thing, but yeah. So we'll see. But hopefully we'll be doing streams from there over the next few days. So stay tuned. We'll do maybe a test stream from our hotel when we're there and kind of see what's up. And maybe. So I know Matthew's asking, are we doing a 5th Gen Con stream? We're hopefully doing a 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th Gen Con stream like last year. But I can't promise that because a lot of it's out of my control and I won't know till we're there. So we'll try our best. But stay tuned to the channel, subscribe, because maybe we'll be live from Gen Con, you know, doing some demos, talking about our day, showing off some games we grabbed, giving you our thoughts, maybe seeing some of the people in the chat on the stream with us, talking and letting them know what they did and bought and liked, and, you know, telling us how they really feel. We'll see.
Keith, thank you so much. Keith has a super chat in
Keith,
there.
I was trying to finish my thoughts.
No, that's okay.
Keith says, bail money. Well, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It says, bail money for when you get arrested for public drunkenness and or assault and battery at the Lorcana booth.
Thank you very much.
Imagine that, like in the news, it's all like Lorcana booth, fights broke out, and like they're gonna have police and security there for real. They've announced it online already.
Fights have broken out for less.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, I remember that one year there was in the news was like a Magic the Gathering YouTuber was punched in the face and assaulted or something at a restaurant around the corner from Gen Con by a Magic the Gathering store owner who didn't like what this dude was saying online. So he found him at the con and punched him in the face. And they both like, it was a big deal. It was like, oh man, Gen Con's not safe and all this stuff. But like, it didn't technically happen on the Gen Con property, but it happened during Gen Con. They both, one was a exhibitor, one was a press attendee, I think. So it was like, they're both officially there, approved through Gen Con. So it's like, they sign agreements and, you know, fine print that they'll behave a certain way. So yeah, they both got in trouble. One pressed charges, they went to court and everything. Supposedly it was settled outside of court with the settlement. But yeah, that's the one I can think of, like crazy stuff that happened at Gen Con was that. But there was at Gen Con one year I was there, somebody's I remember the first one I was uh at night in the gamer hall there was a booth selling, I needed sleeves and mats to play some card game stuff. And around the Magic the Gathering tournament area in the Gen Con booth that was running like 24/7 pretty much, there was a little store in there, a little booth that was selling play mats, sleeves, you know, deck boxes, all that stuff. And I remember at the booth there was some guy there telling everyone about how there was a group of guys going around stealing people's bags and things while they were playing in Magic the Gathering tournaments.
Oh no.
Trying to steal their deck boxes and rare cards and binders and stuff.
Oh wow.
So while these guys were like in a game of Magic, they would like come up and distract or walk by sneakily and then grab their binders of cards for trade and stuff. So a whole bunch of people who brought like hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of cards that year were all getting stolen by this like organized little theft group. And then also one year, I know there was somebody who was going around the exhibitor hall who was going in. So a lot of the booths have like a curtain. So behind the curtain, there is like where they keep their boxes of stock. And then they have the front of the booth. Some booths are like that, some aren't, right? But the bigger booths are like that. And there was some people who were volunteering at booths who would come in the back room, drop down their purse or their backpack or whatever, and then go volunteer for the company, demoing games and stuff. And what was happening was there was people who were opening up the curtain and grabbing people's purses and bags and stealing them. It was a thing. But yeah, it's usually pretty rare there that kind of stuff happens. But those are the things that come to mind of like bad things that happen at a con. But that stuff all happens like everywhere, like some people are saying. But it was just at Gen Con, it's a pretty positive environment with a bunch of geeks like us who are there. Most people are going there to have fun and game and meet people. It's a very social hobby where you're trying to, in most cases, trying to be friends with people and create fun environments. But then again, there is the competitive side of it and the secondary market and the rare cards and the value and all that stuff and the exclusivity and the scalping and the limited quantities and all that. That does bring in some kind of a shady element, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that can be a thing. But yeah, those are the ones that I've heard of, but I'm sure there's crazier stuff that happens that I don't hear about that like Gen Con kind of brushes under the rug and doesn't want to get out, right? But I still feel safe when I go there and I still feel like we have fun.
Same.
And but yeah, some of that stuff happens, so just be smart with your stuff. Don't leave valuables lying around. It's still a public event, and yes, anyone can walk in the convention center. Not anyone can walk in the exhibit hall, supposedly, because you got to get your badge checked. But I mean, sometimes those people aren't paying attention at the door, and you probably can just slide on in and go do shady stuff. So
Jeffro, thank you so much. This is your first super chat to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for the support.
For
hangover remedies. Oh god. For greasy breakfast food.
Yeah, exactly. And Tylenol. Thank you so much.
We're not gonna get
No, we don't drink like that.
Crap faced.
No.
Yeah, because again, Gen Con is work for us, but this year I'm trying to treat it as like not as much work as I have in previous years. I'm not going to film or live stream a tournament.
No.
I'm not playing in a tournament. Which wouldn't be the business side of it. It'd be the fun side while I'm filming. I'm trying to grab a couple of games that maybe I'll stream, but I'm trying not to care about games only with streaming in mind. I'm also trying to keep an eye out for things that our daughter or family or game group might like to play off stream. Because a lot of them don't go. But I know kind of what games they like, so I'm going to keep an eye out for them because not every game comes to Canada and is available for us to buy. I'm also going to hang out with some of you guys that watch the channel and support us here and part of our community. So I'm going to try to be like, I'm going to just chill and have fun and not stress the F out as I normally do. But already I'm worried about, like, I'm already stressed about what to bring equipment wise, camera wise, microphone wise, what we should have on us in our bag. Should I bring any little games? If a game of Lorcana busts out or a game of Keyforge, do I need to be carrying mats around and dice and deck boxes or anything? Should I be packing that stuff like last year with Marvel Champions, spend 3 hours building decks the night before we leave? I'm going to try not to do that stuff, but I always get stressed out. That's why I changed the stream from tomorrow to today, because I want to leave myself with some time. I got to do some testing of some equipment to see. I have a new phone compared to last year, so I have to make sure I have all the apps on there that work with my cameras and microphones and streaming and testing and all that. So I'm going to play around with that stuff today and tomorrow and the next day a little bit, so we'll see. And then hopefully we'll be streaming from there and the equipment will work and I didn't forget anything. But I do get super stressed out before we go. And then when we get there, the time flies too fast. And then I get sad after how it just blurred by. So This year, I'm not trying to chase down too many games. I'm not trying to lug around a whole bunch of product as we run around. I'm already going to have cameras and stuff on me. So I don't need the extra weight and extra baggage. But I'm just going to go around, try to see things, demo things, take pictures, take video, have some fun. And if I have some stuff later to show in a video, I'll try to do that. But I don't think we're going to vlog the whole thing or anything like last year we were trying to do. But then you just find you get so distracted. It's hard to keep filming all the time when you're like just absorbing and enjoying the con and getting information. But
yeah.
Jacko, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much.
Tylenol for dealing with the meeting, some of us in person. Oh,
no,
we got the Costco.
Part.
I got the Costco size Tylenol just for this situation.
Oh, that's the best part.
I'll be popping that stuff like Tic Tacs. I'm just kidding. No, it should be fun.
Yeah.
Should be fun. Should be fun.
I can't believe it's next week though.
Yeah.
Or I guess this week.
Yeah, just keep in mind when you meet me, depending on what time it is, I might be distracted, I might be overtired, I might be spaced out and zoned because I only have so much energy in me and I can only absorb so much information. So don't take offense if you're talking to me and I look like I'm kind of like wandering like eyes and like, it's what I do. I'm there, I'm like sensory overload, man. So much going on. What am I doing? Minutes are passing. Should I be seeing this other game? Should we be eating? Where should we be going? What should we be doing? But then the evening, once the dealer hall closes or the exhibit hall closes, and we grab dinner, and then we go back to the gaming hall or open gaming area or whatever. I love just sitting down and going, and I've learned I have to chill in the evening, maybe play a game, maybe not, try to get back to the hotel at a reasonable hour, try to get some sleep, so the next day I can enjoy it again. I don't want to torture myself, so...
Yeah, 'cause it just gets worse the more run down you are.
So I like to have a good quality handful of hours throughout the con day, and then chill the rest of the time so I can re-energize. I'm not a spring chicken. I don't think I've ever been a spring chicken since I've been going to Gen Con. So yeah, so I definitely need to take it easy in the evenings and stuff. So just keep that in mind. So if I'm like, you're like, Rob, play this game with me, which has happened at conventions where I get people coming up to me and they'll go, Rob, it's on my bucket list. I need to play a game of something with you. I brought the game here, sit down and play with me. And I'm like, please no. I'm like already checked out for the day. I've already like demoed 18 games today or looked at games. I'm exhausted. I can't, I'm sorry. But I have played. Yeah. I remember playing a game of Keyforge at Origins with Cameron, who at the time worked for Fantasy Flight Games. I don't know if he still does. But that was a super fun experience. He was like, it's on my bucket list. I've always wanted to play on Rob's gaming table. So we're going to play a game of Keyforge right now. And we're considering this Rob's gaming table. And I'm going to play with you. And it's on my list of things to do. And I was like, Cameron, that's awesome. Cameron's a super cool guy. But yeah, it was so fun. I'll never forget that. That was a cool convention experience. But
Janet though says it's okay, Rob. We're really only there to chat with Mel.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll chat with you. It's fine. Yes.
So I'm gonna have a lot of solo time to go around and do things all day. This is great. Good. Get it off my hands. I don't need it. Now I can focus finally. Great.
But please, if you do see us, if you run into us, please say hello. We're always excited to say hello and meet you. Yeah,
Black Cheval knows. So make sure to get Rob into a 6-player game of Spirit Island after a nice long day at the con.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yes.
But Matthew does also say, I'm bringing Green Team win, so hopefully we can get a big game going with all of us. Like,
what the hell is that?
I'll look into it.
Game?
It's probably like a little party game that multiple people can play, and I'll like glance over the rules so I know how to play, so it's not so overwhelming.
I'm sure you all know by now I'm awkward AF. I don't really play party games. I may seem silly and funny sometimes on stream, but like, yeah, again, Canada is saying Gen Con equals extrovert paradise. Yeah, being an introvert, it might not go well. Don't take offense to it, okay? If I'm like in this party game, look like I'm not having fun, I always look like that when I'm playing party games. Because I'm like, I'd rather be playing a different game right now.
Even when he's playing like a game with my niece.
Yeah. Niece. I'm like, oh, this game could be better for these reasons. And that's how I'm analyzing the game. But really, I'm supposed to be just having silly fun, reciting taco, cat, cheese, pizza.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah, that game hurt my head. I couldn't.
It was so funny.
Party games are my Achilles heel. They're my weakness. Yeah, they hurt me.
Green Team wins. I feel like I've heard of it.
Yeah, you want to torture me? Make me play a party game. I will do it, but I will not like it. Matthew says you will like it.
Okay, Matthew, I'll glance at the rules so we know. Oh, it's a roll and write or some sort of dry erase thing. Okay.
Yeah, dry erase means party game.
Yeah.
Unless it's Explore It.
Okay.
Explore It. The only game with a dry erase I will have fun playing ever, okay? No, that's not right. There are some roll and writes that probably I would like doing that too. I could laminate my roll and writes and then I use a dry erase and they're still awesome. Oh, man. Jacko says, how do you alpha game a party game? No, it's just like I only have I play games with people and I play gaming and I spend so much time focused around this hobby. When I'm actually playing a game, I like to play games that I know I want to play. And party games, I understand them and I play them and I'm like, okay, I get why this is clever, I get why people like it, but all I need is one play and I'm like, I'm not interested in that anymore. I understand what it's doing. I don't loosen up and just have fun with it. But I used to with Spyfall. That one I loved. I love the lying and the like, trying to fluff people out and stuff. And like what other party games? There was like the Coup and that other one, Resistance.
I like those.
Resistance and Resistance Avalon. Those are party-ish games, but they're still gamer games of party games. Those are the good crossover. Those are like my favorites. But yeah, Just One is really cool. I like Just One. But again, I can only do a few playthroughs of it in a session, but then there's those people who are like, play again. And I'm like, I'm good. Just you guys have fun. I would rather we roll into something a little more complexish, a little more interesting.
But that's where you can sit and play one-on-one like Disney Lorcana or Keyforge with somebody,
Well,
and then the rest of the group can play a big party game.
Yes.
Because I'll play, even though I'm terrible at party games.
Yeah. Unrelated, there's a 68 player Spirit Island game being played between people on the Spirit Island subreddit.
Wow.
Holy shit.
The things that people can do.
That's crazy, but it's very cool actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when I hear psycho stuff like that. I think it's like amazing, but also like insane. But it's like so awesome. People fascinate me so much. That's so cool.
Candyland Legacy it is. Like, I'd play that with you, Jacko, but I don't think Rob would join us.
I would play one game of Candyland Legacy.
One, yeah.
One game.
One game.
Okay, but don't
Secretly, we wouldn't talk about it after.
Don't try to get me to play the whole campaign of 18 sessions in one evening at Gen Con. It's not happening. It's not happening, okay? You'll have to find a replacement for the next game for me, okay?
Oh, Cash and Guns is my favorite board game that feels like a party game. Edward says, we played that.
I actually just got rid of that game last week.
Last week, yeah.
I found it in my collection and went, oh my God, I remember playing this game. We actually saw it at Gen Con and bought it because of seeing people playing it at Gen Con. We're like, oh my God, what is this game? And we're like, it looked so good from a Gen Con table perspective. It was a great game to sell at a con because everyone seeing it played was like, I must have it, I must have it, I must have it.
Yep. And
we fell into that trap. We bought it. We did play it at a game night with family and friends, and it was a hit.
Yeah, it was fun.
But after that one night, like no one asked to play it again. It just went in the collection and collected dust, fell behind some other games on a shelf.
Well, COVID happened too, right?
Yep. Yep. And then I found it was like, okay, this game is never being played again, so let's get rid of it. But yes, pointing phone guns at each other, Reservoir Dogs, yes, exactly. It is perfect. It was perfect for what it did. That was a fun game.
That was a fun game. Bob, thank you so much for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. It says, here is some funds for Mel to get an Uber to a nice restroom to use on day 3. or a big glass of wine to prepare herself for the horror.
So, to be honest, there is a lot less women at Gen Con. So, I don't really have the same experience in the washroom that the men do.
I always feel like there's a ton of women, but maybe not in like the card gaming areas and stuff where we hang out. Like in tournament card game areas.
Yes, it's
where we've spent most of our Gen Con hours, maybe not the last year or the year before or whatever, but most years we spend 2 or 3 days of the convention literally all day around a tournament card gaming area.
Yeah.
So yes, those washrooms probably are lightly used by females.
Yeah, look, I've never had to wait in line. I've never had any issues. You know, you go to a mall sometimes and you got to wait in line to use the washroom. I've never had any issues there. The washrooms are nice and clean.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's also the class of women versus men in the washroom. I don't know.
I need to remember to pack a wig, lipstick, and some heels.
I don't know, because maybe now...
So if I really need to use a nice clean washroom...
I don't know, because now they may have more gender-neutral washrooms, so I'm not sure what the situation is looking like this year, but I've never had any issues. So...
You can give that money to Rob, you said?
Yeah. There is
It is swampy. Those washrooms get swampy after the first day. Oh my.
Yeah, I've never had an issue where you walk into a woman's washroom and it's swampy.
Swampy is the term that I heard someone describe the washrooms at Gen Con one year, and I was like, oh my God, that is the perfect word. The first day though, on Wednesday and Thursday, you can go in them, perfectly clean. The staff's there working well. But man, for some reason, that staff just goes and gets high out back by the dumpsters all weekend after, and they don't keep the washrooms up clean or anything. It's like they're off for the weekend or something. I don't know what it is. I see them around cleaning the convention, though.
Yeah.
There is convention
I've seen
staff
them in
there.
the washroom cleaning. Maybe they just clean the women's more.
But what I bet happens is Gen Con doesn't pay for that service or doesn't pay enough for like the having service of cleaning that area the whole time, because it definitely lacks. And I know people complain about it every year, but it's something they never invest in and improve. They buy more hotel space. They pay for Lucas Oil Stadium to rent that out. They add more rooms. Indianapolis extends the convention center for Gen Con and all this stuff, and make sure they fight with Indianapolis to give them what they want to stay there year after year. But for some reason, they're not paying more or investing in having people like custodians cleaning the washrooms more consistently. And I've been to many conventions through work and other things that, man, the washrooms, there is someone in them literally at each washroom, cleaning them over and over, making sure everything's great, handing you a towel, all that kind of stuff for real, like our mints and stuff. So I know there's services you can pay for that will have that kind of attention to detail to make sure your guests never have a bad washroom experience. Gen Con is not that. They literally, it just all of a sudden, like the first day you see them sweeping and closing washrooms and cleaning them, and then the rest of the con, they're nowhere to be seen. And you go in the washroom the next day and it's even worse. It's out of paper towels, out of toilet paper, water all over the floors, clogged toilets, like just a mess,
But it is known to go to washrooms in not heavily trafficked areas, and you might get a better experience, right? If you're going to a washroom in the middle of the convention center, it's obviously going to be a lot busier and a lot more traffic. You might have to wait in line.
And people are there 24/7 using these washrooms, like literally in the middle of the night. Like there's still people gaming all around, still using the washrooms, but like they should be paying someone overnight to kind of get in there and clean them. But Stacy, who is local to Indy, says, I hope this year isn't worse. It's been hard to get workers around here. Best to lower your expectations. Okay.
So Stacey, I don't know, or Janet, did you guys have any? I didn't have any issues with the women's washrooms.
It's probably just, I always use the men's washrooms usually around like the card game areas is my memory, because that's where we spent most of our time. But maybe it's not like that in the other ones. I don't know.
Not that I can remember anyways.
Brant, I appreciate the tip, but I'm not going to say it out loud.
Yeah, you can't give away
I'll see you there. Okay, cool.
It's funny that there is known clean bathrooms.
I tell you, man,
So
it's
crazy.
a thing. Yep, I'll tell you, it's a thing.
Oh yes, they were hot. Yes, I do remember that. I remember that some of them had fans going in them.
Kanji says they just need a power hose and a rotor.
Oh my god.
Rotor.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Well, I guess we want to say thank you to all the Gen Con staff that do keep the place clean as best they can.
It's not Gen Con staff,
or
it's the Indianapolis
Convention
Convention Center staff. I do appreciate the work you guys do, of course. When I go, the washrooms are amazing at the beginning. But by Sunday, maybe it's just the fact there's 60 to 70,000 people just abusing the washrooms there that it's hard for them to keep up. And I don't see the people in there cleaning it ever.
Yeah.
Maybe they're told not to go in there until the evening. I don't know, but
so one thing I would wonder is if you see that change as we get into the weekend, right, where the weekend part-time kids become
maybe
right. So in the day on the Thursday and Friday.
Yep, they're out at the dumpster getting high all weekend. I'm telling you, man. The manager's not paying attention. He's out smoking, stuff with them out back, and they're like, "Ha, these idiot board gamers! They don't even know what's going on. They're too busy buying their games, killing each other for card games." But don't worry, I'll report live on scene. I'll have my live streaming camera equipment on site in the washrooms, letting you guys know how it is. I can't even say with a straight face. I'm just kidding. Here I am, Rob from Rob's Gaming Table, reporting live from the washroom with a black eye. I'm still here checking the cleanliness. No, sir. No, sorry. Get that camera out of here. What are you doing, creep? Get out of this washroom with that live stream.
I think our channel would be shut down at that point.
Oh, here's Mel holding the camera watching Rob get arrested again at Gen Con for some other reason. Oh, there's plenty of toilet finder apps out there. That always makes you think of that Seinfeld where George knows all the best toilets in the city and knows the best ones, the best flush and all this stuff. Oh, I think it's so great.
Oh, that's funny.
Do I need to send more bail money?
No, we're good. No washroom streams will be had on this channel.
Yes, that is true, Jeffro. That's the reason. That's the true benefit of having a connected hotel to the convention center through a skywalk.
Oh, definitely.
You can go back to your own hotel room and drop your games off and use the washroom. That is the one thing that I'm like, damn. But then I look at the cost of those hotels and I'm like, I'll deal with the washrooms. Yep. Yeah. I just bring my hazmat suit and I'm all good. I'm all good. Bob Bell says, as a conference organizer, and that's where I'm thinking is conferences at convention centers. Those are my other experiences where it was all amazing. And then I go to Gen Con, it's like, it's a very professional place, but it's just for some reason during Gen Con, they let it all go. Like the water stations are all become broken, not refilled. Like the staff just kind of disappears, it feels like, for some reason.
Angie, I think the same thing. When you started that sentence, I thought he was going a totally different way as well.
Yeah. Bob also says, I would recommend telling Gen Con convention staff. They will then complain to the venue staff.
Yeah, because if they don't know, right?
They know.
But I'm sure they know. They're probably trying to keep up with it.
They send out polls after every year. They send out surveys to people who went. They also, I know some of their employees watch our streams for sure.
Yeah.
And watch other even bigger channels than us who talk about that kind of experience there. So yeah, I'm not the only one. And I'm sure there's people who have emailed them and complained on social media and stuff. They know. They know. And I know that's what I'm saying, Bob, from a person who used to, in my other life, through my other work, used to attend conferences all the time and get behind the scenes on that stuff, organizing them and things, attending them as a host and as a guest. I've seen that kind of stuff before and seen like the high level of it where it's like, holy geez, like they paid for the good service. And then other places like in major cities where it's like, yeah, they're not really shelling out the dough to make sure that's all good, but, or the staff's just screwing around during the convention or something. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyways, Jeffro's going to rent his out. Nice.
Maybe.
All right.
For a fee, I'm sure.
Now, since I'm trying not to buy as many board games this year, I would definitely invest some of that money into, that service. Got your washroom ticket, event ticket here. Washroom.
Clean washroom.
Nice clean washroom, event tickets here. How close is the nearest interstate rest stop?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
Stacey's asking, are we wearing masks in the exhibit hall or anywhere? Oh, I don't really know. We're not sure. I don't know. What do you?
Again,
I don't know.
I think those who wear masks, you were smarter than most people aren't. Like, because I know from firsthand experience, last year being forced to wear a mask was the first year I went to Gen Con and didn't come back feeling under the weather with some kind of con crud or my immune system kind of knocked down and feeling a little under the weather. Like I've never come back and been so sick I like can't move.
No.
But I definitely come back and for 2 or 3 days, I feel like not right. And yes, it's because I'm exhausted, my immune system dropped, but it's like you're sharing lots of germs with everyone, shaking hands, touching board game components at booths that like thousands of people have touched already. And if you're not washing your hands, it's a thing, right?
Yeah.
But last year was the first year I literally came back and yeah, my feet hurt, but that was it. I was like ready to go after, and I couldn't believe it. And it was, I believe, all related to wearing a mask the whole time. And anytime we're playing with people, I was wearing a mask. And then, so I wasn't touching my face because of that mask. And then we'd go wash our hands before I'm at the hotel in the evening, taking off my mask. So I really believe masking works, but I complained about it last year. I was wearing a mask that was too small for my big fat head. So my ears were like really red and rashed at the back. I bought something to help with that this year, but I don't think I'm gonna wear a mask this year because I hate interacting with people at Gen Con booths to read facial expressions. I don't like playing my board games with somebody I can't tell what their reaction in their face is as I'm talking to them. It's very awkward for me socially, and that bothered me. But for health and safety reasons, I respect it a ton, and it worked. And if you're wearing a mask at Gen Con, you are way better than me, and I know you're smarter, and you're gonna probably not get the crud or get COVID, hopefully, and you're gonna have a better time when you get home than those who don't. Because every other year, I definitely came back feeling not 100%. It's a thing. So yeah. And now we have COVID floating around too to add to that. So, but we should be fine with that. But having it a few months back, plus all our boosters and all that stuff, we should be okay. But yeah. So I'm expecting to come back and maybe not be able to jump right back into live streaming for a few days. We'll see though.
Yeah, I have bottles of sanitizer and all of that as well that we can carry around.
They were disinfecting stuff the year before. Before at the convention, the less attended one, they were closing down the gaming hall in the evening to clean everything. But last year they were not. Last year, like people were taking off masks in certain areas, and
They just had bottles of sanitizer on all the
yeah.
Demo tables and all that. So,
But I wouldn't say it's a placebo effect for sure. I 100% came back and did not feel like I felt before, and I know that feeling. Going to many Gen Cons.
I'll probably have masks just in case. Like,
but yeah,
I don't know.
But I don't know what the acceptance is. Like, I don't know if there's if people are wearing a mask, do you want to stay away from people without a mask? Like, I don't know what the etiquette there is. Darius says you could use a full transparent face shield. Those don't really work though, supposedly. I think you're supposed to wear a mask and the face shield to actually get some protection, but yeah, supposedly they've proven those face shields don't really do anything. Unless they're like also equipped with a mask. That's why like doctors wear masks and stuff in surgery and things, but they might also have face protection too. But yeah, I don't want to walk around with a face shield. That's kind of not really. Dragon shield, face shield. Yeah. Yogi says none of it works. Okay.
I don't know. We felt pretty good last year coming home.
That's all I can say is I did it and it felt good. I don't know. It's all government mind control garbage.
I mean, most places aren't mask mandated here anymore.
Take your vitamins. I take my vitamins 100% every day. I take my multivitamin. I bring some to the con. I take them to try to keep my immune system up for sure. I do it every year. That is a consistent thing, Yogi. It's been that way. I've been doing that for decades.
But maybe that's why you don't get like super sick. You just have a little bit of con cred at the end. Yeah.
I 100% do that. And the only thing different last year was I had to slap a mask on my face like 99% of the time. But I still took my vitamins every day. But I did that the year before and I still felt, or the last time we went, and I still felt like buns when I got back. So I don't know. But I'm sure I'd feel worse if I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, who knows? It's all biology and, you know, we can't fight it completely. It will win eventually and take us all out. And Last of Us is true and it's going to happen. Angie says, I came back with the COVIDs, but still wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
Oh, you came back with COVID. That sucks.
Yeah. I remember that. That was sucky. But yes, that was awesome. Yes, yeah, the straps on the mask killed me by the end of it. It hurt to put a mask on. And then I learned about those glasses straps that actually hook onto masks, and I could have got one of those and used them, but I didn't do my research. I was dumb. Because I wore masks at home, but we only wore them going out for like an hour here and an hour there.
Yeah, like to pick up groceries and stuff.
I never thought about wearing those masks for like 12 hours a day, every day, 4 days and 5 days in a row. But yeah. But I'm happy this year not to have to wear one. Because it again, talking with people and trying to like introduce yourself and listen to someone explain a game through a mask. And I'm like, what'd you say? And they're like, what'd you say? And I'm like, what'd you say? And we're trying to
Kenny.
Yeah, exactly. Kenny from South Park was our live streams last year. So guys, we played this game. You know? And it was like, man, I like to hear my voice clearly through microphones, and I'm sitting here with a mask on my face. It's not working. So yeah. Screw you guys, I'm going home. That's Cartman, I guess. But yeah. Anyways, I think that's it.
I think that's good. I think we talked about everything we wanted to talk about. I think we kind of chatted about what you guys were telling us to look into. I'm sorry that some of the games you guys mentioned, I already looked into. I don't really care, but that might change based on what I see there and try there, and maybe I have more time, and maybe I'm by the booth and the publisher pulls me in, or somebody says, hey, Rob, get over here. You see this game. I know you said you're not interested, but come over here. You didn't see this about the game, and you would actually like it. Or some of the people you meet there from the channel actually have the game and are like, Rob, sit down. We're playing this game. Here, let me show you why it's cool. You might be able to persuade me. I'm open to it. I might see stuff there that I foo-fooed or that I could buy at home, and maybe I ended up buying it there. It might happen, and maybe my haul is huge. But that's the fun of Gen Con. It's fun just roaming around and exploring and seeing a bunch of cool things, and then getting back from Gen Con and finding out you didn't even see a whole bunch of things. I know.
And you're like, that game was there? That was at Gen Con? I didn't even see that booth. Where was that? So it's super fun. Super fun. Heather with the super chat says, a member for 24 months says, have fun and safe travels to and from the con.
Thank you. Thank you
so much.
Thank you
Heather.
so much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, so any of the games we didn't mention, again, some of them we looked up. we weren't interested in, or we were going to look at there, or I forgot to put on the list. Again, there's way too many, 500 and something games to demo and buy there are known about on Board Game Geek, but I guarantee there's like 100 to 150 other things that aren't on that list that are going to show up there, that are going to be surprises there, that are going to all of a sudden get buzzed there, that didn't get buzzed before, that we might see and we might not see.
And games might still get added to that list. Like we are doing this technically Sunday afternoon. It's like 2:30, but I haven't looked at it since earlier today. So more games will be added to later today, tomorrow, and even Tuesday.
Yeah, and there are other things that some people are interested in buying there that won't show up. The truck don't show up. The ship didn't get there in time. The copies didn't show up. They only got 100 and they wanted 1,000. That happens all the time where I run to a booth and they're like, we didn't get the game, sorry. And you come by Saturday and Sunday, they're like, game still didn't show up, sorry. We missed the con, whoopsie. It happens. Logistics is a nightmare sometimes. And, oh, there was something else I was going to say. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, our private producer Discord, again, that's another purpose for it, is to let each other know if you tried something cool. So anyone who's physically going, who's in our producer Discord, that private chat, that is a great use for that. That was the original intent of that, was to keep in touch, because we only have so much time there. You can only check out so many things. So if you see something cool, share it in there. Share a picture, share a booth number, share a game you demoed, and we'll try to do the same, and let each other know. And you know what we tried. You know, maybe we could talk about it in person, and we'll meet up in the evening and stuff, and try to do that. So that's what we're gonna use that for. But yeah, anyways, thanks a lot for watching, and I guess we'll see you in the next stream. I don't know when that is.
Hopefully from Gen Con?
Hopefully from Gen Con. Knock on wood. If not, we'll see you when we get back and do some more board game playthroughs on the channel. So subscribe either way, or else. And we'll see you then. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.